At Highway 45 and Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, coming down towards Broad Street, and a possible tornado is tracking basically straight to the east-southeast. That's going to bring it over the northern sections of downtown Mobile and then out over the Tensas Delta. It could easily track along I-10 and Highway 90 or the Causeway, too, as it continues to move on off towards the east. So we are under a tornado warning, and we are checking our cameras in downtown Mobile right now to see if we can actually get a visual on this thing. We may be zoomed in a little bit too tight there, but we're going to keep looking and scanning with our live cameras. So the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for downtown Mobile for a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado moving to the east at 55 miles an hour. And we're going to continue scanning out there with our cameras, and I'm going to read the information off to you here. It's possible that this storm will be near Spanish Fort by 10 minutes after 7 o'clock. So this is moving very, very quickly. It should skip across the Delta in a hurry, and we have it moving on off to the east at about 55 miles an hour. This is a fast moving area of rotation. It was one that was a little difficult to pick up because of its close proximity to the Mobile radar site. We're looking out there right now with the live cameras, and may have to switch back to radar, and then we'll just continue to scan with these cameras. Checking it out, I'm here with meteorologist Hannah Fink and meteorologist Nicholas Herboso. We've been covering weather here all day long, flooding in the area, epic thunderstorms, and we've got a bad one that is currently located over the northern part of Mobile. Very heavy rain coming down Moffett Road, and Nicholas has it highlighted here, and so this is going to be close to the areas around the Cochran Bridge and also Highway 90 here coming off of the Cochran Bridge. And it looks like the track would bring it either straight east or a little east-southeast. So it's going to come very close to Spanish Fort if this area of rotation, which is showing up right there in downtown Mobile, continues to move in the direction of Interstate 10 and also Highway 90. So it could end up crossing the Delta, and some of the areas that are included in this: Cloverleaf Landing, Highway 225, a lot of the neighborhoods here down through Spanish Fort. And that fast forward speed, we have it in Spanish Fort now at 7:16 p.m. So it may only take about 5 or 6 minutes for this rotation area to cross the Delta, end up in Baldwin County. If it continues to hold together, it would affect areas potentially around Daphne High School, Interstate 10, Malbus, and then Loxley. We've got it in Malbus by 7:20. So in 10 minutes, this thing could jump across the Delta. It has a very, very fast forward speed to it here. So this is kind of a crazy looking map. Let me explain to you what we're looking at here. This is what we call velocity. And anytime we see a couplet where we have green pixels and red pixels close together, that is likely your area of rotation. It's not far away from the actual radar site, which is located at Mobile Regional Airport. So it can be a little bit noisy right around the immediate radar site. If we widen out a little bit and put on reflectivity, I think you could see the structure of this strong thunderstorm, really a supercell thunderstorm, and this is it. So we've got an epic thunderstorm going on. We had a severe thunderstorm warning for it, and that includes George County and Jackson County, and now that warning extends over into Mobile County for the severe thunderstorm warning. We got very heavy rain in Sims and Wilmer and around Big Creek Lake and near Magnolia Grove. That is spreading into Midtown and over to Saraland. There's a big core of lightning over Saraland right now, and then any rotation is going to be right here at the tip of this thunderstorm, right down here into the southeast flank of this particular thunderstorm as it's moving through downtown. And this warning is up for downtown Mobile. So you're probably getting an alert on your phone if you're in Midtown or downtown. However, it does appear that this possible tornado is now moving away from downtown Mobile and is getting out here over the Causeway. So it looks like it was possibly a brief spin-up type tornado over downtown Mobile, and the rotation area is now moving out towards the Causeway, the battleship USS Alabama, Felix's Fish Camp, areas towards the original Oyster House, the Chocolata boat ramp, and then over to Spanish Fort. A lot of the neighborhoods here off of 225 are in line for this one. It is a fast mover, so there's not going to be a lot of time to prepare for this. We have team coverage here going on right now in the Fox 10 Stormtracker Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith. I'm going to send it over to meteorologist Nicholas Herboso for an update. Nicholas, what are you seeing from the radar center?
So what I'm looking at right now is I'm monitoring our live cameras that we have, and I'm going to switch us over real quick to the Daphne camera. The Daphne camera has a wonderful view of this coming across the bay. This little area of spin is located just in front of where the heavy rain is, so we might get a shot at this. And I'll tell you right now, I am just not seeing anything on the Daphne camera that could indicate, I don't really see a lot of motion in this here. So here's our live camera from Daphne loading up here, and I think we've just lost a Daphne. There it goes. All right, so what we're looking at here is our area of spin. This is the Bayway. First of all, no driving on Interstate 10 Bayway or Causeway. No driving there. If you can get off and pull off and stop at one of the gas stations in Jubilee Square, do so now, or just get someplace safe, because this is coming pretty much right across the Bayway and Causeway area. Your potential spin is somewhere in here. This is the skyline of Mobile right here. You have a strong thunderstorm that is rotating on the leading edge here. Right now, we just do not see anything in this. You maybe can see a little bit darkness there, but not seeing much. We're going to keep watching this camera. I have it pulled up on the side to give you reference on where this is relative to this camera. Let's see here. Looking at where this is relative to the camera, and they have updated tornado warning here. Camera located right here that was pointing out this way, and this is your notch. This is your hook that is located just on the north side of the causeway. If you live on 225 near Bromley, near Spanish Fort, you need to go ahead and seek shelter in an interior room away from windows. That includes all these little communities on the north side of Spanish Fort here. Here's 225, here's Bromley. There's your potential tornado, as you can see there, the little hook signature that's going to move across 225 here in the next few minutes, Jason. A little bit of a hook there on velocity right now, and a little bit of strong wind as well.
Yeah, well, a couple of things I want to point out here. So as we're looking at this storm as it's moving towards Spanish Fort, the National Weather Service has updated the tornado warning, and it now no longer includes downtown Mobile. So the rotation area is past downtown Mobile. They've trimmed the warning. So if you're in downtown Mobile, you've got a severe thunderstorm basically happening on top of you right now, but it looks like the tornadic part of it is now working towards Baldwin County, and it is crossing the Mobile-Tensaw Delta, and it will become very close to Five Rivers, Spanish Fort, General Canby Drive, Terra Boulevard, Busby's Landing, which is right here on Bay Minette Creek along 225. You are right in the center of this, where this possible rotation area is coming through. We've got Blakely Forest, Blakely Way, some of the communities there south of Busby's. You are included in this warning, as well as areas up towards Lake Boulevard and Hammock Branch Road, Point Liza Jane Road, and DeOlive Road. The Bromley area is also included in this warning. If you're anywhere between Bromley and Sibley Creek down to about Timber Creek, you need to watch out, because this thing is moving very quickly, and it's going to outrun this tornado warning box very quickly. And if it looks like the rotation is holding together, this tornado warning is going to get extended across Baldwin County. It's going to include some areas out towards Spanish Fort High School, Timber Creek, Bromley, Stapleton, and Steelwood. Right now, they're not included in the warning, but we are seeing the rotation. Nicholas was highlighting that there, and it looks like this is on the north end of Chocolata Bay near Big Batty Bay right here, and it will come across the Blakely River near the Battery and then end up tracking in towards Highway 225. So your rotation area is likely going to be between Cloverleaf Landing and Spanish Fort, and it looks like it's tracking just about right for Bay Minette Creek and Bay Minette Basin, which is right here along Highway 225. So this is where the rotation area is now. It is now past downtown Mobile. If you got an alert on your phone for a tornado warning for downtown Mobile or midtown Mobile, you have been trimmed out of this particular tornado warning. We are now in a severe thunderstorm warning, but for Baldwin County, if we look at the structure of the storm, you see this little notch right here. It looks like a real subtle hook type feature that is forming up. It's still intact right now, and it looks like this possible tornado would be located again now getting very close to 225 in Bay Minette, the north end of Bay Minette Basin. And we've got a second tornado warning issued here for another rotation area that just popped up too. This just came down. So, all right, we've got 2 tornado warnings. One of them is between Cloverleaf and Spanish Fort approaching Highway 225. The second one is near Cliffs Landing. It's going to be up here along 225 near Hurricane, and it's near McReynolds Lake. It's going to track towards Highway 225 near Hurricane and Crossroads, and it looks like Bay Minette is included in this tornado warning right now. Your rotation area is right here, and it is tracking east, so it is going towards 59. It looks like it'll go right over Cliffs Landing. It's a little bit south or near Kilcrease Road. You've got County Road 138 and 225. Here's Cliffs Landing. I mentioned right there, we've got a debris ball right there, Nicholas, near Cliffs Landing.
Yes,
so
confirmed. Yeah.
There are a bunch of fish camps on Cliffs Landing that would be vulnerable to this one right here. We've got a lot of trailers and mobiles and smaller structures, so that could be a big problem if that tornado holds together. This is likely going to be a tornado emergency. It is a confirmed tornado that is going on Doppler radar. So what we can see on radar is that we can see when the velocity is inbound, outbound. We can see where there's rotation, but we can also see the difference between rain, hail, and other stuff like debris. And we've got a debris signature, a TDS, a tornado debris signature located here over the Mobile-Tensaw Delta right at Cliffs Landing. And this too is going to be racing off to the east at about 55 miles an hour. And so we've got to be on guard. Bay Minette area and Kearney, because there's our possible tornado number 1 and possible tornado number 2 is here. This warning just got updated on the southern end. We have 2 warnings. We've got a warning here and we've got a warning here. The second one on the southern end now is crossing 225 between Spanish Fort and Cloverleaf, and we have not seen the debris signature there like we have further to the north, but it doesn't mean a tornado is not happening down on the southern flank of this rotating thunderstorm. And it's also bringing heavy rain to the Mobile area right now, as well as Saraland, Wilmer, and Sims. So we've got a tornado near Cliffs Landing, and we got a tornado just south of Cloverleaf Landing costing 225, and that warning has been updated to include Loxley as well as areas just along and south of Stapleton. The warning to the south is in effect until 7:45. The warning to the north is in effect until 8 o'clock. There are 2 possible rotation areas coming into Baldwin County right now along 225. So one is just north of Interstate 10 at Spanish Fort. The other one is located near Cliffs Landing, which is a river landing off the Tensaw here on just to the west of Highway 225. And with that fast forward speed, that one may be already on Highway 225. It's going to be real close to the Hurricane and Crossroads area. Nicholas?
Jason, real quick, I want to show you what this looks like on the ground real quick. We have a decent shot of this from the south. We're going to be looking at this. This is your southern tornado warning. This is the southern circulation that's moving, as we said, right across 225 near Spanish Fort. And what I've been noting here is a little more motion in the clouds back here. This is north of the Hampton Inn, north of Jubilee Square and Daphne. This possible tornado is north of Interstate 10, north of Spanish Fort, near the Bromley area. So that's that southern circulation. Wanted to pop that up real quick and let you know. And again, it's 2 tornado warnings right now. One is confirmed, one is not confirmed. The not confirmed one is to the south near Spanish Fort, moving through Bromley. And we have a confirmed tornado that is moving towards Bay Minette. If you are in Bay Minette, you need to be in shelter now. A small room away from windows. Jason?
Okay, let's look at it right now. And so there is your rotation area now, and it is crossing Highway 225. So it looks like it's pulling away from Cliffs Landing, and it's going to be working just north of County Road 138, and it could be coming right into the heart of Bay Minette. It may parallel or be very close to Kilcrease Road, which is a connector between Highway 225 and Highway 59. Kilcrease Road runs east-west. So there's your possible tornado right there near the Cliffs Landing area in 225. It's going to track to the east, and we're going to go down to street level here and show you some of the potential areas of concern. That is likely what was or is your debris signature. And so we can see what looks like some debris potentially down here around Cliffs Landing, but maybe another one a little bit further to the north that is located on 225. These can be brief spin-up tornadoes, so there may actually be 2 areas of concern or 2 areas of rotation that we're watching. One is going to be at Kilcrease Road and Highway Highway 225. The other one is right close to or just north of Cliffs Landing Road. It is showing a possible tornado near Patrick's Landing Road. We've got JC Road, Red Hill Road. If I name your road, you need to be in shelter. Old Stockton Road coming down 59 into the heart of Bay Minette. You are included in this, and that's going to include Rock Hill Road, North Shore Drive, McMillan Avenue, which parallels 59 and 287 coming into Bay Minette. You are included in this warning. Also, we will see this thing potentially heading towards Kearney and Dias, and that would be along US 31. So ultimately, some of these areas further east of town may also be included in it. Phillipsville, you are included in this tornado warning for now. These two rotation areas are pretty far back off to your west, but it won't take long for them to get there with a quick 50+ mile per hour forward speed. So right now, checking it out, this is the storm right here. It has prompted 2 tornado warnings in the area. We're actually looking at 3 distinct rotation areas. One is up near Interstate 65, tracking towards Bay Minette. The second one, which we need to take a look at as well, is now into Spanish Fort. That's going to be it right there, very close to Dunlin Avenue. And this is near, just to the north. It would have come across Bay Minette Basement around Busby's. And now it looks like this rotation area is tracking east, and it's just on the south side of Bromley. And it looks like it's going right towards Highway 31 between some of these neighborhoods and Stapleton. It's going to end up towards Steelwood Lake. Nicholas?
All right, so this is Jimmy Faulkner Drive. The possible tornado for Spanish Fort is passing pretty much right over Spanish Fort Middle School right now. If you live near Stonebridge Elementary School, go ahead and get into an interior room away from windows. Also, if you live near Baldwin Prep Academy on 59, there, south side of Stapleton, you need to be in an interior room away from windows. Also, that means south side of Stapleton. Stapleton is in this polygon. You need to be in a safe shelter right now. So this is 2 tornado warnings, multiple circulation. The one right now near Spanish Fort Middle School is tracking to the east towards 31 and 59 near Stapleton. And that includes the communities of Stonebridge and those communities there along 31. Make sure you're in shelter right now. Checking out the northern storm. Once again, if you are in Bay Minette, you need to be in shelter right now. If you're in an interior room away from windows, you're going to be just fine with this. So this is just going to be a little bit of a rough storm, and we're here to get you through it. Right now, if you're near North Baldwin Infirmary or Baldwin County High School in Bay Minette near the courthouse, I'm calling out pretty much everybody in Bay Minette right now. I want you to go ahead and get into an interior room away from windows. If not a tornado, you're going to see some strong winds and heavy rain coming through, but that is our serious concern. Hopping back down to our southern storm, there are 2 areas of circulation that I'm watching very closely. This is one on the north side of Stonebridge right now. Stonebridge Elementary is located essentially right here. This is about to cross 59 here in the next few seconds. The next folks up in this would be near Steelwood Lake. So here's Steelwood Lake. This is Steelwood Ridge Road. You can see, so all those communities there need to be in an interior room away from windows as well. If you are in Lake Forest, you are not in this right now. If you are in Lake Forest, Bayfront Park, Daphne, Bell Forest, Montrose, you are not in this right now. Downtown Mobile, Pritchard, Tolmanville, Midtown, DIP, all clear. You're just getting a strong thunderstorm right now. We have 2 tornado warnings ongoing right now, one moving to Bay Minette, one moving on the south side of Stapleton. Jason?
And these are moving very, very quickly off to the east at about 50 to 55 miles an hour, both of these. And they're being created by a large thunderstorm, which we have watched come together over Greene and George counties. It dropped down quickly into Mobile County and Baldwin County. So we've got these 2 rotation areas, and one of them that was near Cliffs Landing is now to the east of Cliffs, and it's over towards Bay Minette. The other one that was in downtown Mobile has crossed around Busby's Fish Camp on Bay Minette Creek, and it's now moving close to Stapleton, and it looks like it's now to the north of Spanish Fort. So checking it out right now, we have one area of rotation that is currently around Kilcrease Road. This may be the remnants of that debris signature that we saw earlier. We still have inbound, outbound velocities showing some rotation here, and this is going to be near Green Jordan Road and JC Road. Green Jordan Road's off of 225, and then some of these other roads that we mentioned here are off of 59 and 287 as this moves into Bay Minette. This is the Interstate 65. If you're in Stockton, it looks like this is not a concern for you. However, it looks like this tornado warning was drawn kind of wide because of the broader nature of this possible tornado. Raven is included in the warning, but right now the most intense rotation looks like it may be a little south of the Raven area. It's more drawing a bead here on Bay Minette, especially the north side of town. There's also some rotation right here in Bay Minette, and this is going to be really close to the courthouse in Bay Minette, and it looks like it'll be tracking towards 112 and US 31, where 112 splits away from US 31. It's likely going to end up near Kearney, Dias, and Phillipsville. So this rotation is going generally straight to the east across Baldwin County. And again, looking at the debris tracker, checking out the velocity, the potential for rotation. We're kind of looking at all those things here live for you on air so we can get down to street level, show you exactly where we think this possible tornado is and where it's going and what communities, roads, neighborhoods are out ahead of it. So we're getting an update to this warning here. There is the tornado warning update is showing it now along Highway 31. This is going to be the southernmost warning. So I would say that this older warning may be going away between Cloverleaf and Spanish Fort. And the new warning is for this rotation area, which Nicholas was pointing out to you, which is now currently past Jimmy Faulkner Drive. It is now to the east of Highway 31, and it is tracking towards Steelwood Lake. It may go right over Steelwood Lake. I can actually see the outline of Steelwood Lake located underneath the imagery here. So this, and that'll take it in the direction of Gateswood. It still looks like that rotation area is intact.
It literally just passed right over Baldwin Prep, essentially. Okay. So now it's on the east side of 59. You're right, Steelwood Lake. Yeah, so it's tracking towards Steelwood Lake, which is located right here. This is your rotation area. It will be there in a minute or two, maybe already there. Looking further to the north, the other rotation area is currently coming through Bay Minette. It's a little more broad now. When it produced the tornado debris signature, it was a tighter rotation, and checking out the debris signature right now, it's a little leftover debris there. There's a little leftover debris there. I think it's still aloft, or there might still be some weak rotation. If I go to velocity, you can see that there's just that little tight section of red and green right there.
So what Nicholas is talking about is may have had a tornado on the ground, it may have lifted, but there can still be stuff up in the clouds swirling around. That takes a long time to sort itself out. Hopefully this is not a tornado over Bay Minette, but we're treating it as such. You are under a tornado warning. There is still some broad rotation showing up here, and if you look at the track of where this rotation is, it's going to follow Highway 31, and so this is going to take this thing along US 31 towards Kearney. This is the Dias community right here. We have Hollingsworth Road right there. We've got Horseneck Road a little further to the south, Brady Road, Phillipsville Road Extension, Old Weekly Road. These are areas that are included in this warning, and it's really the middle part of the warning that is most concerning right now because we do have some rotation still ongoing in this area, but it looks like that the possible area of rotation may have lifted a little bit here. We're going to continue to monitor that. We're also keeping an eye on National Weather Service chat from the Weather Service to see about their thinking on this. So we've gotten this thing kind of honed down now, where you've got one possible tornado near US 31 just north of Loxley along Interstate 10. If you're in Loxley, you may be getting the warning, especially over on the north side of town. But the possible warned storm is going right for Gateswood. It's going right over Steelwood Lake. And then this one right here is tracking through Bay Minette and heading in the direction of Pineville. So it's going towards Phillipsville, Kearney, Dias, Crosby Road, out this way and down to the east up Highway 31, and it will be paralleling I-65. It may be a little south of I-65, but we have also seen that just when you have the rotation area defined and honed in on, a new area of rotation will start further up or further to the south. So that's why this thing is still included 4 parts of Interstate 65. The overall thunderstorm, it is bringing heavy rain to Mobile. We will watch for any possible flooding going on. We have upgraded to a flash flood warning for George County. We do not have one for the Mobile area, but we got 5 or 6 inches of rain with the first round, and here comes another round of heavy rain, and we'll have to monitor this and see if we continue to get training cells setting up over Mobile. We're certainly seeing heavy rain at Mobile Regional right now and along Moffett Road. The Mobile area and over to Spanish Fort. We were under a tornado warning earlier. That's been trimmed out. So Spanish Fort, you are no longer in a warning. Mobile downtown, no longer in a warning. Cloverleaf Landing, Cliffs Landing, no longer in a warning. The warning for a tornado is going to be basically right over Steelwood across Baldwin County in the direction of Highway 112. You've got Wilcox Road right here. This is the Wilcox Road exit on Interstate 10, and north of there, that is where most likely we have the tornado going on. That warning is in effect for another 15 minutes. So until 7:45, we've got a warning for central Baldwin County. That's going to be over some of the rural areas here, you know, between US 31 and Highway 112. The population density is not as high in this area as it is in other parts of the county. This one is starting to move a little bit to the east of Bay Minette, but it looks pretty broad, and we're not seeing, as we rocket back and forth between reflectivity, velocity, and debris signature, we're not seeing anything that looks overly alarming with this one now, but we definitely had some kind of a tornado on the ground across the Delta. I wouldn't be surprised if it held together and made it all the way over to Cliffs Landing, because it was moving fast and it was showing up bright. Checking it out now. So this will be on the east side of Bay Minette and moving along US 31 towards Kearney and eventually towards Phillipsville Road. You've got King Lane right there. This is Dias Road here. That's Hollingsworth Road right there. We got Old Weekly Road here. Yeah, there's Hollingsworth. There's Dias. Smith Road, Piperill Road, and then Phillipsville Road. And these are all areas that are included in this warning, but I like the signature, the way it looks on radar now compared to the way it looked earlier. Nicholas?
Yes, so I think what we had happened here, the rotation, as Jason mentioned, over Bay Minette. If you're sheltering in Bay Minette right now, you need to stay in shelter out of respect of the polygon that we have in place right now by the Weather Service in Mobile. But the rotation's a little broader. That's good news. I think what we had happened here, as Jason mentioned, is we had a tornado that happened over the Delta, and we saw it on debris tracker. You see that blue ball there? There was a tornado that was confirmed over the Delta. It was moving north and eventually crossed 225. Again, this is what happened earlier. Tornado crossed 225 right at Kilcrease Road. And this tornado likely went right up Kilcrease Road from 225 all the way to where it got to 287, just passing north of North Baldwin Infirmary, so on the north side of Bay Minette. I think that was where the strongest rotation was and where that potential tornado was. Now we look at the velocity signature, and you see this area of tight that was right here. If I were to take that out to the current picture, we just do not see that. Now we're going to keep an eye on this and maybe look on the south side of Bay Minette here. You can see that. So if you're in Bay Minette, this is why we still want you to stay sheltered. There's still turbulence there. But again, Bay Minette stays sheltered right now. If you are west of Highway 225 in Baldwin County, you can go ahead and come out of your safe place west of Highway 225 there. Let's go down to our second warning here. That is right near Steelwood Lake, actually just past it now. The next thing up for this one would be near Gateswood and then 112. The rotation is not as strong, but I got a comment on Facebook, and we're keeping you updated on our Facebook pages here. Look at the wind. This is not relative velocity now, Jason. This is just the normal velocity, and you can see some of the wind is extremely strong, and that's what some of our Facebook commenters are saying right now.
Right. And we saw that too on National Weather Service chat. They're saying it looks like for now that this is shifting to more of a wind threat, and there is a wind maximum, almost like a microburst of wind going on past Steelwood Lake and bearing down on Gateswood, and that can be very problematic in itself. A lot of these tornadoes that are going to pop up in this kind of environment are EF0s and EF1s, and there's not much difference between that and a microburst type downburst wind situation with a thunderstorm. Either can cause a lot of tree damage, do damage to roofs, siding, and can cause problems. So right now the bottom line is do not drive on Highway 112 between Bay Minette and I-10. Just stay off of that whole highway for about the next hour. Let this thing roll through. Happy to report as we look at the northern warning, they're still holding on to it for now. But again, it doesn't look like anything that's that well defined over Bay Minette. So we are temporarily feeling better about the situation in Bay Minette as well. Neither one of these two rotation areas look like tornadoes right now. This one looks like more of a severe thunderstorm wind situation. It's part of the thunderstorm that's bowing out anyway. And so where this is located is near Brady Road, and I think that's going to be north of where Brady Road intersects the Styx River. There is a bridge over the Styx River. It's way up near the headwaters of the Styx. But this is near Brady Mill Dam Road, where we're seeing velocities, and this is a loft, of about 80 miles an hour. So that could be some epic thunderstorm winds. Those are really high. That's a velocity maximum right there, no doubt about it. And it's going straight towards Gateswood, which is just really a small community. And there it is, still intact. We can still see that bright spot on the velocity product. So we're definitely getting localized wind damage, most likely crossing over in the direction of Gateswood there around Brady Mill Dam Road and tracking to the east. You can still see that velocity maximum is very, very high. We do still have some broad rotation around Bay Minette, but things look a little better here. As far as flooding in the area right now.
Wait, one more thing real quick.
Okay.
They have dropped the Bay Minette warning.
Okay.
They're letting the southern warning expire. So here in just a few moments, we are going to have no active tornado warnings, but we're going to have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible attack.
Right,
So
and so what we will probably do at that point is when we get to the point that we're clear of tornado warnings, we'll just do an overview and then we'll get back to programming, because I believe we have a ball game going on right now. I think I saw that in the lower right, but okay, we've got a ball game going on right now. And it's possible we may jump back in and do some updates on digital. And so if you're not familiar with our coverage here on Fox 10 News, the way we do it these days is that when we're not on the air, we're still doing updates, and it's on an app called the Fox 10 Gulf Stream, which you can download for your smart TV, or a lot of times we're on Facebook and on YouTube or fox10tv.com. So we encourage you to seek out those other platforms, because when we drop off with the tornado coverage, we may switch over and go back to our digital room and give you a few more updates on what's happening there, just to reassure you. And you can have that live feed up while you watch the ball game or while you watch other programming. So you can still keep track of the weather, but it's not going to interrupt programming in the same manner. So we're just there for you digitally instead. And right now, the northern warning, as Nicholas mentioned, is now been allowed to expire. This is still a severe thunderstorm warning, and it looks like that this tornado warning will be allowed to expire in 5 minutes. Is that correct, Nicholas? It's up until 7:45, I believe.
Yes, that is correct. So in 5 minutes, that'll expire.
So in 5 minutes, we do expect this warning to expire. We'll stay with you as long as the active warning is in place for Baldwin County. The current time is 7:40, so we'll stay on for about another 4 minutes and just give you an overview of the situation. One of the things that's happening is that there is a very strong bow signature to this thunderstorm, and that's why it can still produce damaging winds, because that type of structure can be very problematic. And there's still a wind maximum showing a velocity of 76 miles an hour near Gateswood, and that's the kind of velocity that'll knock down trees. In this area, it can knock power out, and it can do it in a big way. There are a lot of pine trees along Highway 112, and once it clears 112, it's going to get over here in some of the forever wildland along the Perdido River, and it's very sparsely populated in this area. Once it gets to Edon, though, in Bay Springs, that's an area where you start seeing a lot more communities over on the Florida side. But there will be a gap when it crosses the Perdido River, where it's basically just public land and not a lot of houses. So this area right here is along 112. That's that maximum of wind. It is tracking towards the Barno Park Bridge, Tenau, Bay Springs, and Highway 97A. So it looks like it's going to, this line right here, by the way, this is the Florida-Alabama line, and the Perdido River is the boundary right there. So that's where that area is. And there's still some rotation there.
There's a new tornado warning that's just been issued until 8:15 p.m. That'll include Perdido River and Escambia County.
All right, so we're staying with it. Looks like we're going to be on for a while longer. We got a new tornado warning, and that area where we saw that wind maximum is now rotating, and so we may have a tornado trying to form up right over the Perdido River and the Perdido River Canoe Trail area here and the Perdido River WMA. This is going to the east towards Bay Springs, and there will be a period here of about 5 minutes where it's over a real sparsely populated area, and then once it gets over into Escambia County, Florida, it's going to be close to a lot of communities once again. So what's happened here is, just to update you, this warning is going to drop off. The Steelwood late warning's going away, and the rotation area kind of followed the north end of that polygon, and now we've got a new tornado warning right here. So let's do a track on that one and look at some of the roadways that are included in this area here. Nicholas, we've got right there along 112 and a track forward at about 50 miles an hour. And I like how Nick did this. When he drew the cone, he kind of had it going across the north side of the polygon because that's what it did last time. It went across the north side of the polygon. This is going to bring it across the Perdido River. So current time is 7:43. It could be in Bay Springs by 7:48. So 5 minutes. It gets across the Perdido River, and then it's right on top of 97 and 97A. We've got it potentially in McDavid and Chumuckla at 8. If it holds together, it would be in McDavid at 8:01, Chumuckla by 8:08. These are some of the communities out on the far edge of that warned area. Those are communities along Highway 29 and along the Escambia River, which comes down from the north. So looking at it right now, there's your rotation area. Okay, we got Holly Grove Road. And, you know, Holly Grove Road is a very remote area. I think there are a couple of houses at the end of Holly Grove Road. And then this is the Perdido River right here. And you've got Gravel Landing a little further to the south, which is one of the river landings on the Perdido River. And this is crossing that area now. But once it crosses the Florida line and crosses the river pretty quickly, it's going to catch back up with Pineville Road and 97A. And it's going to end up over here in Enon. And there are a lot of farms over here. This is 97A right here. And I can kind of see through the overlay there, fields and that kind of thing. And there are some communities and some homes over here on this side. So this is going to track across the river and very quickly end up being a threat for Escambia County, Florida. So we got the Enon community. McKinnon is also in line for this. There's McKinnon right there around the Kestrel Road area. And we've got Bay Springs, Florida here. And this is Highway 99 coming down through northern Escambia County, Florida. There's two Escambia counties in our area, and they're right next to each other. One of them is Bruton and Atmore. That's in Alabama. The other one is in the Florida Panhandle, and it is the westernmost county across the Florida Panhandle. Nicholas has the area of rotation highlighted. It looks like at this point our rotation area is out of Baldwin County. Now, this rotation area, the warning is still technically in effect for Baldwin County, but I don't think it'll be long before the National Weather Service trims Baldwin County out of it. Right now it's still technically included, but the rotation area is cleared Highway 112. It's cleared Gateswood, and it looks like the rotation area is now along the Perdido River and very quickly moving over into Florida. Back to the west, it's still raining hard in Mobile right now. This is not good. You know, we've got flash flood warnings up for George County, and you can see along the Escatawpa River and back towards Agricola, we're getting heavy rain. We're getting heavy rain in Lucedale, Bendale, and it looks like close to Hurley here, some very heavy rain. We've got showers and a few thunderstorms around Mobile Regional Airport right now. And then the rain really picks up along Moffett Road, downtown Mobile. And downtown Mobile was briefly under a tornado warning earlier. That area of rotation is moved past downtown Mobile as well. Is this FIFA World Cup going on right now?
They are in, they're preparing for another game later on, and we're not in the game just yet.
All right, so right now we're just pre-game stuff?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to check in on that.
By the way, we are getting a lot of questions about Mobile right now in Spanish Fort. It's still windy there, a lot of people are saying, so they're wondering what the situation is.
If you're in Mobile and Spanish Fort, the tornadic part of this has ended, but yes, Yes, it is still very windy. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Baldwin County, including Spanish Fort, Daphne, and Loxley. The heaviest of the wind is going to be over into Escambia County and back down across Interstate 10. But checking out the Mobile area right now, it's just heavy rain. We got a major thunderstorm going on, and this is all that tropical moisture in the wake of Arthur, a tropical storm that was over Texas, which is dissipated. But the problem is when it dissipated, it sheared all the moisture off and just sent it right for us. And it's been kind of merging ahead of a frontal zone. And so we have the recipe for severe weather, possibly a few isolated tornadoes, gusty winds, severe thunderstorm winds. And, you know, this is a good point. So even with the severe part of the thunderstorm winding down, we are still getting velocities up around 50 miles an hour. So we're still going to get gusty winds in Daphne, potentially Fairhope, Spanish Fort, Albus, Loxley, Stapleton, but it does not mean it's tornadic in your area now. That tornado warned area is crossing over into Florida. This is our Eastern Shore Toyota camera from the Hampton Inn in Daphne, and I can see the wind blowing those trees right now. Nicholas, look at that.
Yeah, and I wanted to just check this out because I wanted to assess the situation of what's going on. There are a lot of people on the roads, by the way, right now. That's not the best situation, but you can see it is still very breezy. This is not fun to drive across right now. If you're driving across the bay, this is just terrible conditions. You have to be careful and take it slow. But once again, for my folks in Spanish Fort, Lake Forest, Bromley, all these locations that we talked about earlier, and now in Bay Minette, you can come out of your tornado safe place. However, I would stay inside and away from windows just because the wind is still very strong right now. And this is what it looks like from Daphne. See you folks trying to get around, but I'll tell you, when they get home, they're going to tell you how hard of a drive that was because it is not fun right now. The overview, once again, as Jason was just mentioning, downtown Mobile is getting heavy rain right now, but there is no tornado issue there. And actually, now we can give a total tornado all clear to Baldwin County. This is a tornado all clear to Baldwin County. If you are in Gateswood, Steelwood Lake, Loxley, Spanish Fort, up 31 to Bay Minette, Stockton, Loxley, Daphne, you are no longer in a tornado warning. However, you do have some strong wind going on right now, and there's a nasty thunderstorm. The only place that we have for a tornado warning that is concerned right now is near Bay Springs, just to the east of Enon here in Escambia County, Florida. This rotation area is approaching Florida 97, Jason.
It is, and so we are continuing to watch this for you here on Fox 10 News. This warning is in effect until 8:15. And the rotation area would be right along Highway 97A, close to or just on the north side of Bay Springs, Florida, in Escambia County. And checking out the warned polygon area here for the tornado, it's going to be this red outline right here. And some of the streets and locations that are included within this polygon, looks like a lot of woods roads here. There's a lot of timber property right in through here between 97 and 99. And then once you get to the east of 99, that's going to be the Escambia River. But Leandris Lane, Kestrel Lane, South Highway 99, the community of McKinnon. This possible tornado is very close to you here, and it's tracking in the direction of Highway 97. There are some other areas that are included, including Pine Barren Road. There's Pine Barren Creek area, and over towards Chumuckla and McDavid. You've got McDavid right here, and so it looks like McDavid is included in the tornado warning. And checking it out, there is your rotation area still showing up here. As far as it looks on the velocity product, it's not super strong, but we do have a rotation area for sure that is intact, and it looks like it'll cross Highway 97 in a matter of minutes. So it'll end up crossing 97 south of Walnut Hill. So this is going to be over the interior inland sections of Escambia County. There's your possible rotation area right there, inbound, outbound velocity, east-northeast track, generally in the direction of McDavid with this possible tornado here as it moves across the northern sections of the Florida Panhandle. And that's the only game in town. So if you're in Baldwin County right now, you've got gusty winds, and it's still basically a severe thunderstorm right now. There is a tremendous amount of lightning You can see that Nick is rocking it back and forth, switching the lightning on and off. Look at the lightning strikes from Hurley to Wilmer and Sims, Chickasaw, and then over into Baldwin County. I mean, that's a lot of lightning going on there. We've had some problems. That's 1,306 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes within this area that shows up on radar right now. That is a light show, and it is 7:51, so it's dark. It may not be completely dark right now, but you can see this lightning as it gets darker and darker. You can see it from a long ways off. So if you're in Pensacola, you're probably seeing this storm flashing to your northwest. If you're in Mobile, it's flashing pretty much right on top of you. You've got a tremendous amount of lightning at Mobile Regional, a tremendous amount of lightning between Wilmer and Saraland, and that's going to be getting into Sims proper and then starting to work down towards 8 Mile and Pritchard. And we still have wind gusts going on in the Mobile area around 40 to 45 miles an hour. We've got wind gusts around 40 to 50 miles an hour here that's not included in the tornado warn part of the storm. This is just a very, very active wind-producing thunderstorm with a lot of lightning. So tons of lightning going on in Mobile County right now.
Checking out some of the wind, Jason, right now, and actually the wind just picked up at our Daphne camera, which I'm looking at on the side here. It looks like you can see all of these areas here that are in that pink color. That's what Jason was talking about, that 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. If you're driving, it's not the best situation. So just keep that in mind, that if you're out and about, it's not looking great. And I will quickly pull up that Daphne camera so you can see what's going on here. And as you can see, it's been kind of blowing in the wind here. And also there's a decent amount of lightning as we were talking about. So this is what it looks like from our Daphne camera, and you can see the trees are blowing in the wind quite a bit. So that is what we're dealing with: strong winds, thunderstorm, general thunderstorm, severe thunderstorm kind of stuff that we would see. It's just an unpleasant situation there, and we're keeping an eye on everything, of course. Here, let's go back to live radar, and we'll give you the big view, and then we'll check in. If you're watching us on Facebook, let us know where you're watching from. Even if we lose a tornado warning here in a little bit, we will continue with coverage and streaming just to be thorough with all of this, because we want to keep you updated. We have one active tornado warning right now that is for Escambia County that is approaching Florida 97. Eventually it will approach U.S. Highway 29. That is the only tornado warning we have in town right now. Prolific lightning, I mean prolific lightning, is happening across Jackson County, George County, near Big Creek Lake and Wilmer. I know it is not comfortable right now. Magnolia Grove Golf Course near Pritchard as well. Some very heavy rain and lightning. Also some gusty winds there. But this is not tornadic at this moment. We'll let you know if we see anything. Heavy wind and rain happening right now for Bell Forest, Daphne, Malbus, Spanish Fort. If you're in there, and I know this is kind of a scary thunderstorm, as long as you are inside, you are good. There is no tornado threat in the Spanish Fort, Daphne, Malbus, Loxley area right now. So you are good. Just make sure you're staying inside away from windows, because you don't want to be involved with all of that very heavy wind and heavy rain that's going on outside. If you're along Alabama 112 near Gateswood, if you are west of the Perdido River in Baldwin County, you have some heavy rain and wind going on right now, but there's no tornado threat for you. The only tornado threat that we have right now is approaching McDavid, Florida. If you are in McDavid, Florida, we want you to be in an interior room away from windows. I will tell you some promising news here, that the rotation that we're seeing that is approaching McDavid, approaching Florida 97 now, is actually a little bit broader, a little bit weaker than what we have seen. But there's still enough spin there, and there's some lightning associated with it right there that we are still concerned for the possibility of a brief spin-up tornado. So they're holding on this tornado warning right now. A couple other notes for you. You might be getting some new alerts on your phone right now, and I'll zoom out to the overall view real quick. They did issue a new flash flood warning, kind of filling in some of the gaps with these flash flood warnings. So checking it out, and with the flash flood warnings that we do have right now, and I'm going to have to turn off the lightning because there's too much of it. You have flash flood warning up here at the top here. This is northern Mobile, northern Baldwin County. Flash flood warning that covers the middle part here. That includes Bay Minette. And then flash flood warning that includes kind of central Baldwin County all the way down to places like Fairhope. Even though if you're on the south side of Fairhope, you really haven't seen that much rain right now. But that's the deal. We have that strong thunderstorm that's dumping heavy rain, and we're anticipating more rain as we go through. So heavy rain, lots of lightning going on, kind of an uncomfortable situation, not the best situation to drive in. But we're looking at now only one active active tornado warning, Jason, which is good news.
Yeah, and checking the active tornado warning, just wanted to highlight some of the areas right here near McDavid. And so this is crossing around Highway 97. And so it's going to be very close to Mason Road and Pine Barren Road. There is a huge solar farm right here on the southwest side of McDavid. And it looks like this thing is tracking generally in that direction. So it could end up a little north of Champion Drive. It's crossing over the Escambia River area, and it will continue moving to the east across the Escambia River. Your big solar farm on the southwest side of McDavid is right there, and that is included in that warning near Pine Barren Road. You can kind of see the grid here from the layout of that solar farm. And then down Pine Barren Road here's North Pine Barren Road, South Pine Barren Road. So we expect this rotation area to move right across. Hopefully it's not a tornado. Right now there is some rotation there. This is a storm that has had a history of producing a tornado in our area. This is likely the same rotation area that came across Baldwin County, is the same rotation area that came across Baldwin County. And it looks like it's very close to Howell Road. It may be a little south of there. If you are around Walnut Hill, this is past you, so it is looking better for McKinnon and Walnut Hill and Bay Springs. Technically, these areas are still under a tornado warning, but we are not seeing anything tornadic around Walnut Hill or Bay Springs right now. Just significant severe thunderstorm winds that may continue for a while, even after the leading edge rolled through. Typically your tornado is going to be, it could be embedded in the circulation, but it also is right there along the very onset of the precipitation or on the leading edge of the thunderstorm. And so there is some rotation still in that one there. And there is a tremendous Bose signature right here, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if we don't have a tornado, but we have tons of reports of power outages and trees down in northern Escambia County and northern Baldwin County just because of the sheer wind that's being produced by this signature here on radar, a Bose signature that is plain to see here on our big screen here on our coverage. So we are watching out for rotation, and it just doesn't look like a tremendous amount of rotation, but as we pan back, it's easier to see the lightning actually when we're not on reflectivity, when we're on a little bit of a different map background. And right now, the heaviest of the lightning in Mobile County is in two locations. One of those is basically South Saraland and Chickasaw, down to the north side of Pritchard and 8 Mile. And then there's another major lightning maximum that's going on but in the Tanner Williams community. It's going to be on the south side of Wilmer and at Tanner Williams and over Big Creek Lake, and that stretches all the way back across Agricola and into George County. And so this, whenever you see that much lightning going on in an area, it's a sign of a very, very strong thunderstorm. One of the things the National Weather Service is doing is they went ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning for this Bose signature. They're maintaining the tornado warning that's along Highway 97 and tracking towards the McDavid area, but they are also highlighting most of northern Santa Rosa County as a severe thunderstorm warning because of the overall scope of this Bose signature here, and we're going to get some heavy wind in that one. So parts of Escambia County, but most of Santa Rosa County included in a severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds that will be coming across the northern part of the Escambia County area and across the Florida Panhandle. South of Bruton, we've got a thunderstorm here, and but that is not included in the warned area yet. They're very far south of Bruton and Flomaton, down around Big Escambia Creek. You're going to see the northern part of the storm, so technically a little small part of Escambia County, Alabama is included in this, but most of the warning is more focused on Escambia County and in Santa Rosa County right now. So, Nicholas, we're seeing active weather in our area. Severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, some flooding, and a little coastal flooding today. Rough surf, rip currents, you name it. We've had everything today to have to deal with.
All right, so time now is 8 o'clock. The Korea-Mexico game has just kicked off. We have no active tornado warnings in our area now. They have canceled the tornado warnings. We will be able to continue streaming, though. We are streaming on Facebook, on the Fox 10 Gulf stream. We're keeping track of these heavy thunderstorms now, but of course World Cup is starting.
Okay, so we're going to get back to the game and get back to the World Cup, but we're going to keep going with the stream. If you want to watch us, the ways you can do that, you can stream us by going to fox10tv.com, the Gulf stream. We're also streaming on our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, so we'll see you on the stream.
And we should be still streaming right now. So
yeah, so we're still streaming, but we wanted to put a bow on our coverage there for the on-air part of it. If you're watching us, you've probably been watching us on the stream, or you may just be joining in. So Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith here with Meteorologist Nicholas Urboso as we've been bringing you coverage. Meteorologist Hannah Fink is here as well, working the radar, and we are looking at a lot of lightning going on right now in our area. We have one active severe thunderstorm warning. We've got about 5 or 6 counties under flash flood warnings, and there is no active tornado warning in our area. Presently, the structure of this storm has changed a little, but it really amped up across Mobile. We are also looking at, rain happening in areas that have been inundated with flooding today. Some locations 8 to 10 inches of rain, and we're getting another couple of inches of rain out of this thing here. This is a major lightning producer. Just ahead of this storm, I walked outside, Nicholas, and you could feel just how warm and muggy it felt and how unstable the atmosphere felt. There's a lot of energy in the atmosphere.
You know what this is reminding me of? If we think back to maybe a couple of years ago, the Pensacola situation, that flash flood emergency that we had.
Right.
You remember before that, the lightning was so prolific with this. I mean, it was crazy how much lightning, and these kind of numbers for lightning strikes is what we're seeing right now as well. So this looks like we're setting up here for a potentially a little flash flooding event. This band is not stopping.
Yeah, and so, when you have a thunderstorm that's weakening, the lightning begins to disappear. And in this case, I think the lightning's ramping up.
Especially over West Mobile. Over
yeah, I mean, talking about the potential for power outages.
15,000 in Mobile County, 1,000 in Baldwin.
Okay, 15,000 out of power in Mobile, and look what's coming. This right here, which is right along the Escatawpa River and building over into Tanner Williams on the south side of Wilmer and right close to Big Creek Lake, is a tremendous amount of lightning that's going on. And that is tracking right towards Mobile Regional Airport. So we've got a lot of lightning, and you may be watching us just because you're concerned about the weather, because you're getting the lightning's popping like crazy at your house. You've got heavy rainfall, and there is a flash flood warning up for this area as well. So there's a flash flood warning up for George County, for Greene County, Mississippi, and there's also a flash flood warning up for Mobile County from Grand Bay up to about Georgetown and then eastward. And there's basically a flash flood warning along this entire line. Daphne and Fairhope are included in the new flash flood warning. That's going to be in effect until 9:15. That may be left over from earlier, Nicholas, but we're getting heavy rain in an area that's, okay, there you go, 10:45. All right,
honestly, what I'm doing right now is I'm just clicking them individually because there's so many of them.
Yeah, basically the whole area is under a flash flood warning if you're along and north of Interstate 10 here tonight. And that's going to continue all the way up into Escambia County, Florida, and Escambia County, Alabama. So there's I would say about 50% of the area is under a flash flood warning. And this is an area that was hit hard by rain earlier, and we're getting more right now.
Yeah, so what we're looking at right now on radar, and by the way, a lot of folks talking about the power flickering, especially in Mobile County. So keep those comments coming because we want to be able to interact with you there. But a lot of power outages because of this heavy thunderstorm that's now starting to move in once again to places like Wilmer. If you're in Wilmer right now, you got some gusty winds. Let me check the velocity. Yeah, there's some wind with that here on the back side of this especially. But if you're near Wilmer Road, Big Creek Lake, out by Sims, MGM, all these places here, the nursery there in Sims, you are in a hefty lightning situation. And this is going to be moving down 158 in Moffett, 98 again, and then eventually 8 Mile, Chickasaw. And I know, Pritchard, you're talking about that you have heavy stuff going on right now. Trust me, there's more coming. There's going to be more heavy rain that happens here pretty soon. If you are in our Mississippi counties, if you're in Agricola, you still have heavy rain. And one of my concerns is on the back side of this, if we continue to see development, if we continue to see more cells popping up on the back end of this, that is going to be cause for concern there because that means more rain for these areas that have already seen a ton of it. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on that. A lot of people asking, when is this going to end? And let me tell you, some of our forecast models say we're going to keep rainfall for parts of our area just north of Interstate 10, mostly in between Interstate 10 and Highway 84. So the kind of North Baldwin County, North Mobile County, Escambia County, Alabama, Northern Escambia, Northern Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and even places like George County. I think we might keep rainfall there for a few hours into 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock tonight. So if you have to do any travel, just be extremely careful. Do not drive over a flooded road. And we've already seen so many reports of flooding. If you have any more reports of flooding that you can relay to us, send us a comment, send us a message on Facebook, but also you can send your photos in on the Fox 10 weather app. And this is a live look outside right now from downtown Mobile. Prolific lightning happening there, but also look at how wet the streets are. I mean, it is soaked. Everything is soaked. And especially in Mobile, north side of Mobile. So all of these heavy thunderstorms that are going over these same areas, it's not going to be a fun drive to get home. You have to take it slow. Reminder that if you're driving in and out of the Wallace Tunnel or Bankhead Tunnel, you're going to have puddles of water that you hit when you go in and out of those tunnels, so please be careful there. I know that this is a stressful situation for a lot because the thunderstorms are so loud and it's windy. As long as you're staying inside, you're good. But if you do have to be out and about, you just have to make sure you're staying safe and make sure you're driving safe as well. I want to go back to radar real quick. So what you just saw was right here. That was in downtown Mobile, and you can see the rain's moderate there. Some of the heaviest rain right now is near Big Creek Lake and Wilmer, and the lightning is non-stop there. And this is moving into Sims. If you're joining us from Sims, please let us know in the Facebook comments. But what we're going to see is that heavy rain's going to move in quite soon for you there, and that's going to be a problem. Then looking off to near Pritchard, Chickasaw. It looks like more near Pritchard going down to downtown Mobile. It looks like that's where we have some of the heaviest rain right now near the Cochran Africtown Bridge and also over the Delta. And then we look at Spanish Fort. Spanish Fort, Bayfront Park, Lake Forest, Daphne, Malbus, even Bell Forest, pretty moderate to heavy rain right now, and this is a soaking kind of rain. Not to mention that there's wind with this as well. You see these pink colors. It's pretty significant as we go look through Summerdale, Robertsdale. A lot of lightning and thunder there, Elsinore as well, and that is heavy wind, probably blowing around 40 miles per hour near the surface, and that's going to lead to some problems for you there. Quick check on what's going on there near Lake Forest and Daphne. You can see the heavy rain that's falling there, and it looks like your wind just a few hundred feet off the ground, 20, 30, 40 miles per hour. So you could see some stronger gusts there. I want to check in on the main part of the line that is severe warned right now. That is for places like McDavid, now northern Santa Rosa County as well, Jay, Chumuckla, Allentown. So Florida 182, 89, Florida 87. That's where some of the heaviest wind is going on right now. Checking for rotation, not seeing as much at this moment. But if you're near Florida 89, Florida 87 on the north part of Santa Rosa County, you are about to get into some pretty heavy wind and rain. So just go ahead and make sure you are ready for that. If you are near the coast right now, it is not raining, and you think that the meteorologists are absolutely crazy for talking about all of this because nothing has really happened to you today. But this is what we expected. We expect a lot of stuff to be north of Interstate 10. And this is what you're looking at right now down in Gulf Shores or in Orange Beach. It's quiet. There's really nothing going on now. If you're in places like on the north side of Foley, you're starting to get rain now, probably for the first time really heavy today. But down at the beach, the only concern that we have right now is the very rough surf and deadly surf that we have seen so far this week. Please do not get in the water there. Here's the live look from Daphne where it is raining harder right now. You can see a few folks out there driving. Hopefully they're taking it slow. Right now, this is Interstate 10, 90, 98. Oh, you're looking at every road there right now. That's pretty much the bottleneck of everything there in Spanish Fort near Jubilee Square, looking up towards the Bass Pro Shops in the back, way back of that picture there. But you can see some heavy rains falling. And the wind, thankfully, is not as not as heavy as it was before. And if you're in places like Summerdale, Robertsdale, Elsinore, you have some heavy wind and rain happening right now, and you can see that, and even some lightning strikes happening right now there, and even in Fairhope as well. So that's the situation across the area right now. As I zoom out, one thing that we were talking about earlier is, do we get a band of rain that sets up somewhere across the middle part of our area? And what do you know, that is exactly what we're seeing. And if we continue to see the training of these thunderstorms, we're going to see some incredible rainfall totals. And I do want to talk about a couple of these things real quick. First of all, here's your streak of flash flood warnings. All the maroon color here, you can see flash flood warning is all the way down, all the way to George County and Greene County. Taking a look at the rainfall rate, it's pretty epic here. Anywhere you see that pink color, we're talking about around 3+ inches for your rainfall, and this keeps getting worse. This rainfall over the last 12 hours here. Now we're seeing a lot of this yellow color here, and querying some of the rainfall here. North Baldwin County 8.7, Bay Minette 8.3, 5.5, north side of Spanish Fort 7.3, Gateswood around 6, Jay around 5, Bruton around 5.3, and I've seen photos near Atmore and Bruton of flooding. Checking out our Mississippi counties, 8.3 in Greene and George County, Leaks Hill at 6.5, Mobile and Saraland at 6.7, Big Creek Lakes, Wilmer near 6.3. You can see here southern Washington County, 4.2, Vinegar Bend around 4.1. So these numbers are high, and Jason, there's more rain that is falling here, and that's going to be a big concern. But amazing to see the gradient. I think the forecast models did a good job with this, putting out the gradient of the coastal areas seeing little to nothing, and then some of these inland areas really seeing a lot.
Definitely. So checking it out right now across the forecast area tonight has been a very active afternoon and night. This really started this morning with meteorologist Matt Barentine with heavy rain and then some of the tornado warnings earlier. So this has been a long duration severe weather event. And you can see why it is that we have these Stormtracker Alert days. This is a classic example of a day that unfortunately has verified in a lot of ways. If you think about all the trees that have been down, maybe in your neighborhood, I've seen pictures from a lot of neighborhoods across the Gulf Coast that have trees down, mainly from severe thunderstorm winds. We've had possibly a couple of tornadoes in the area this evening. We are looking at some of the areas that got hit by flash flooding earlier are getting more heavy downpours right now. And the good news is it looks like the lightning it really hadn't backed off. It's backed off a little. So this part of the storm is a little bit weaker over into Escambia and Santa Rosa County. There's still a severe thunderstorm warning for Jay. And down now on the east side of the Escambia River, that's going to be tracking towards the Blackwater River State Forest as that moves to the east. And then we've got this kind of snaky line here down through Mobile and across Fairhope. And we're still getting an epic amount of lightning and rain going on in western Mobile County near Tanner Williams. It just keeps popping here. And this is a closer look. Look at all the lightning strikes out over Big Creek Lake and Tanner Williams. This is going to be just to the northwest of Mobile Regional Airport. We had some reports of some flooding on the roadways around Stone Road and Sims earlier today, and we're still getting pummeled with heavy rain in that exact spot right now. We've got a maximum of lightning along the Escatawpa River and back towards Agricola and Highway 613. And then the heavy rain extends down into Mobile and down to Dog River. And then we're getting heavy downpours on 225 Spanish Fort, Daphne, Fairhope, Robertsdale, and Summerdale. The severe thunderstorm part of that looks like it may have backed off a little bit, but we're definitely looking at a lot of lightning strikes. We've got about 600 lightning strikes right there. And then all this continues over across the Florida Panhandle. So this is crazy that this thing keeps happening, but we have tropical moisture and an approaching front, and this is the tropical moisture left over from Tropical Storm Arthur, which dissipated over Texas. The center of the storm hit Texas, and all the rain ended up over us. And that can happen, with a lot of tropical systems that we've seen. I mean, Helene was one of those that it hit, and then all the flooding that happened in North Carolina, hundreds of miles away. So this just happened to be our situation to get a lot of the rain. And we weren't the only ones. We've had reports of flooding over Louisiana too, but this tropical moisture is in place. The atmosphere is unstable. The lightning is popping, and as long as we're getting lightning clusters like this, there's still the potential to add to the flash flooding in our area. So we're going to continue to watch that. And still got some Boeing signature here, although it's getting more ragged out across the Florida Panhandle, and there's likely going to be some very intense winds near Chumuckla, Allentown, Molino, possibly down to Cantonment, getting some gusty winds. One of the, this is, if you're down along the beaches, okay, the one thing you've seen today is the rough surf, and it's very serious. Do not get in the Gulf at all for a couple of days. But we've seen very little rain for places like Dolphin Island, Gulf Shores, Pensacola Beach, Fort Walton Beach, and Destin. The rain has been locally heavy, and we expected this. I mean, this is a look at the beach tonight. Not raining much. Just had some light showers, some light sprinkles. We've got gray skies. You can see the lightning flickering from the storm that's way away. It's way north of you. And, but, it's been relatively decent down at our area beaches, other than the fact that we've had surf heights running 5 to 7 feet, and you just can't go anywhere near the water.
I will say next camera we should pull up is Social Experiment, because it is a total contrast.
Let's check it.
So I'll have them pull this one up, but because there it is.
We're going to check downtown Mobile. We've got a camera there.
Look at all the water pouring out.
And look at the lightning flickering in the distance too.
Yes, I mean that's the contrast. Some areas right now are just getting a deluge. I mean, this is wet streets. You can even see the water kind of running down the side there if you look at those parking spots. Not a lot of people on the roads now. Now, granted, it is already 8:21, and we've had a long day here in the Fox 10 Storm Tracker Center. But that's some heavy rain that's falling there. I'll actually take a peek at what we're looking at in the reflectivity. The reflectivity is not. It's pretty heavy in Mobile, but it is not the craziest, heaviest reflectivity that we've seen. I'm actually going to take the camera here and do a little pan. And what I want to do is see what it's looking like near the entrance of the Bankhead Tunnel. Oh, and this is really cool. So once that refreshes, you'll be able to actually see. So there I am moving it. When we get to the pan look of the Bankhead, you're going to see the rain on that street light. That is just an awesome picture there. Look at all of that lightning as well. So an awesome picture there from downtown Mobile, where heavy rain does continue. And once again, there's those occasional lightning strikes. It's a loud, wet thunderstorm out there. Do not recommend driving right now. Some of the heaviest rain is actually getting near Battleship Memorial Park as well. You can see that's where that is. We got a new scan in here. The Bayway would not be fun right now. So you can see here, there's downtown Mobile right there. This is Battleship Memorial Park right here. This is exit 30 right here. And you can see that's where some of the heaviest rain is, and even a few lightning strikes right now. I'm actually going to peek at that Battleship camera. You can barely see anything in it right now. I'm actually going to flip it over. And so there it is. I'm going to flip it to where, well, you really can't see anything in that view either. That's looking towards the Causeway and Bayway and the flags, and you just can't see anything right now. Maybe we'll take a peek at the skyline and see. There we go. Really can't see much of anything right now. If I pan down to the parking lot, you can see just how wet it is there. You can see the sheets of rain falling. That's where some of the heaviest rain is falling right now over the Bayway. It looks like a little bit lighter near Daphne right now, but if you're in Spanish Fort near the high school, man, it's been a busy day for you. We had that area of circulation that passed like pretty much right near the middle school that went across near Baldwin Prep as well along 59. Thankfully, all that is well past now, but you see that moderate to heavy rain there near Bromley, Spanish Fort, Cloverleaf Landing, Blakely there as well, Stapleton, all of those locations in that heavy rain. Hopping down, now we're starting to see some heavier rain in the southern part of the county here, not south of 98, but south of Interstate 10, in between Interstate 10 and 98, so your Elsinore, Seminole, Somerdale. That's some pretty heavy rain for you there. And As you can see, there's a little bit of wind with that as well. So that's the situation there in Baldwin County. Hopping over to Escambia County, I know we have some heavy wind going on right now. Next up is Allentown, Florida 87. Jay, you're getting a lot right now. If you're in Bruton, thankfully this missed you to the south a little bit. So northern Santa Rosa County, I should say, northern Santa Rosa County is next in line as this band of heavy rain moves off to the east. And flash flood warnings do continue for a large portion of our area. Hopping over to Mobile right now, a question asking how long is this going to last? Well, let me tell you, if we keep getting these thunderstorms that build on this backside here, just pick your location. Let's say you're in Sims. Let's put this into motion. See all the stuff that is coming down the pipe here? It keeps redeveloping in our Mississippi county, so that means you're going to get more rain. That's concerning, especially for places like Sims, because we could have some flash flooding issues there. Taking a look at velocity, I do see a little bit of tightness, well, not tightness, a little bit of broad rotation happening now on the northwest side of Sims. This is not a tornado concern. I know I say that and people tense up. Storms can spin, but they have to spin to a certain point to become a tornado problem, and right now we're just not seeing that. But Millertown, Sims, understand there's a little bit of weak rotation near you there along 158. We're going to keep an eye on that for you. It's not an area of concern right now.
Yeah,
but
it
I know
looks
some
like that
gusty winds.
thunderstorm's starting to get its own identity. It's starting to kind of separate from the line.
Yes.
And we'll just have to watch that.
I wonder if that's how it's going to be, where these develop, separate, go. Develop, separate, go. Because, I mean, that's essentially what just happened with this first storm that prompted the tornado warnings.
Yeah, let's look at this here. I'll take it on the big monitor here. And so the thunderstorm that's currently over Tanner Williams looks like it's kind of separating from what was more of an elongated line over into Baldwin County. And so this is starting to become its own distinct supercell or its own distinct entity. And we are looking still at this has been the lightning show of lightning shows out towards Big Creek Lake and near Sims. It's still a high concentration of lightning, and we're going back.
This is 30 minutes.
30 minutes. So in 30 minutes, we've seen very little storm motion with this here, Nicholas. So we've got a potential flooding problem starting to happen in a big way here. When you get this much lightning, it's a sign of a very healthy thunderstorm with, unfortunately, a lot of reflectivity, a lot of water coming out of the sky. And
good camera call there. That's the station. I'm zooming out as much as I can. Look, you see the constant flashes there. Mm-hmm. That's how frequent the lightning is. This is looking right up into that storm. Wow. I mean, wow, constant flashing.
You know, some of the areas that we could see some issues, Natalie Williamson was driving around in our Stormtracker out along some of the plant nurseries out here in Sims off of Snow Road earlier in Howells Ferry. And this is going to put a lot of water in that area.
I literally posted a picture on my social media pages off Wolf Road earlier.
Yeah, you've got Ellen Drive, you've got Howells Ferry Road, the Snow Road area, Wolf Road. I think she said she was on Wolf Road at one point when she was driving, because I remember she spelled it out. And this heavy rain is building right into that area. We also had some reports of flooding around Stone Road, and it looks like we've got a high level of reflectivity and very heavy rain in that area right now too. We've seen rain going on that's been super heavy on Natchez Highway and Wilmer Road, which basically becomes Grand Bay Wilmer Road once it goes through Tanner Williams. So this is Wilmer Road right here. Howells Ferry, the far end of Howells Ferry on the other side of the lake. We got Howell Tanner Chapel Road, great area here, out towards Walt Tanner Road. Some really great communities right out and through here. Very pretty countryside. 612 is what Natchez Highway becomes once it gets over to the Mississippi side. And these are all areas where we may see imminent flash flooding if it's not going on already. And these rainfall rates, when you get into this red stuff here, you're looking at 2 to 3 inches per hour. So meteorologist Hannah Fink is joining in from the Weather Pod. She's been a part of this coverage as well. Hannah, it's just, one of those storms that just won't stop.
It really won't at this point. I mean, this is more of a marathon than a sprint, and when we thought we had a little bit of downtime, it turned into running back in here for a tornado warning after that tornado watch was lifted, which we knew could be the possibility. The chances were not zero, but we also were tracking the potential for the second line that we are tracking moving through to possibly amp up a little bit. And here it is right now. Flash flooding is still the potential. We're still seeing a lot of lightning as well. I'm curious to see what will happen right behind this off to our west. Not producing a lot of lightning, but this is what it looked like earlier in the day when this line first initially went through, the ones that produced the tornado warnings. So I'm curious to see how this is going to move through the area, if there's still enough instability for it to possibly hang on over the next couple of hours. I know HRRR kind of has the possibility for those to trail into about the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock hour, but right now, there's just a lot of lightning. I was the one who was on the Facebook chat. I was seeing a lot of people asking questions, a lot of people stating, even though there's not severe weather in their area, these storms are very loud, and we can see why. That is a lot of lightning moving through areas of Big Creek Lake and Magnolia Grove. You're not in a severe thunderstorm warning, but it's definitely loud and probably sounds like it just because of how much lightning is being produced. We're seeing it on our camera here at Studio 10. We're not being directly affected by it, but you can see a lot of that lightning there off in the distance. That's from those thunderstorms off to our north. We're not getting directly impacted by it, but it is definitely loud, and we can see why. And it's producing a lot of lightning that even if you're not directly impacted by it, you can see it looks a little scary out there. Somebody said, is Mobile going to be in the clear, Hannah? Mobile County is still seeing thunderstorms moving through the area. Theoretically, we're theoretically in the clear. We do not have any severe weather. As you can see, this is just a flash flood warning. Nothing telling us that there's not a severe thunderstorm warning. There's not a tornado warning. We are in the clear of anything severe at this time besides that flash flooding. The only thing moving through the area is this really loud and rowdy thunderstorm that's producing a lot of lightning and quite a bit of gusty winds as well. Somebody was asking, where's the worst of it right now? I have family in Mississippi, and I'm in Crestview, Florida. Well, right now, the worst of it is probably the severe thunderstorm warning that we have near Molino. So I'm going to zoom into that right there so you can see it. This is, I think, our only active severe thunderstorm warning we have in the area. But this is considered the worst of it because it's the only severe warned storm we have. But funny enough, is not producing as much lightning as what we were seeing in Mobile. This is producing quite a bit of gusty winds is what I'm assuming at this point. But this for Escambia County, Alabama, Escambia County, Florida, and Santa Rosa, Florida as well. This is, again, for some gusty winds. And then let's take a zoomed out look. Once again, we're going to start over. So like I mentioned, there's a few severe thunderstorm warnings. One of them is in our area. The other one is off to our east at this point. Some gusty winds. Pensacola, you're probably seeing some lightning as well in your area. I don't think this is going to directly impact you. Our coastline, honestly, has gotten quite lucky for the most part. We have not seen much in regards to weather there. As you can see, near Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, you're seeing the lightning, but you're probably not being directly impacted by it. Pensacola, you probably could see it in about 15 to 20 minutes or so if this continues in the path that it is. It's currently in Lillian. We're seeing some heavy rain, gusty winds, a lot of lightning as well. And then taking a zoomed out look. A lot of lightning still in portions of Mobile County. A lot of people are asking, is the severe weather over in Mobile? We do not have any severe alerts in Mobile right now. Sims, though, you're getting a light show. Magnolia Grove, light show. Big Creek Lake, Wilmer, you are getting that light show. And if you're near the airport, you are seeing it. We are seeing it here at our studios in McGowan Park. It is a light show outside on our Studio 10 camera that I'm looking at off to my right there. Could Mobile see another tornado warning tonight? I'm going to say the chances of another spin-up tornado are very low. They're not zero. So right now there's nothing to worry about. We are still tracking some thunderstorms off to our west to see how they're going to hang on, the ones near Bendale and Loosedale. They're not producing a lot of lightning, heavy downpours. The chances of a spin-up tornado, again, it's there. It's extremely low, but it's not zero. The most that we're going to be seeing into the overnight hours is some gusty winds, heavy downpours, a lot of lightning as we're seeing. And someone said raining in Lillian, yes.
Actually, people asking about the evolution of what might happen. You can see down. Oop, my mic is off. Some people asking about the evolution. I have the TikTok stream up as well. We have about 400 watching there too. A lot of people asking about how downtown Mobile is going to evolve tonight. This is going to be close. I mean, this might come really close to like maybe the north side of downtown Mobile, or Pritchard at least, based on the motion of this. And like you can see, that's downtown Mobile right now from that social experiment camera. That's on Government Street. What you're looking towards right now is Mardi Gras Park and the Bankhead Tunnel entrance there. You can see the tall buildings off to the left there. So that's the view from downtown, the wet streets. We might actually get some lighter rain here before it gets heavier. I think the heavy stuff might run just off to our north. If you're in Saraland, though, if you're in Chickasaw, if you're in Pritchard, this is going to be a close call for some very heavy rain for you. And right now, near Sims, that is the one area that we're watching for some of the heaviest rain. Have we checked velocity?
That's what I was about to check, because I keep seeing a lot of people asking about the possibility of another tornado warning. Right now, we are looking at velocity. I mean, there's a few areas where maybe we should keep an eye on it, but nothing of concern, because one of the things we tell everybody on air, the green and the red together. You're seeing small areas, but for example, like this is not really impressive with the system we're looking at. Little spins here and there is not unlikely and not uncommon. Would you agree with that, Nick?
Yeah, I'll check reflectivity on that too. That's sometimes what... There's a nice little hook on the back side of that, and we'll keep an eye on it, but right now it is not strong enough to get a warning here. And I'm going to check and see what the National Weather Service, they're not noting anything on that right now. Checking over near Sims, though, I want to check what's happened, because actually earlier near Sims, we did actually see a little, maybe on the north side near Millertown, it looked a little suspect, but I'm actually not seeing that much in there right now.
No, and that's another thing is, like, a lot of this can be gone instantly in one scan. That is how quick they are going. Like, yes, we're seeing that hook over there just west of Harleston, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. That could be something that's gone literally in one scan. You never know, but we are looking at the possibility. We do have something from the National Weather Service. River gauge at Bayou Sarah is currently at 6.4 feet, which is currently in moderate flood stage. So may approach major flooding stage, which is about 7.5 feet. So we are waiting on updated forecasts from the River Forecast Center. So if you're somebody who lives near the river, Bayou Sarah, Dog River, I'm sure you're seeing effects of this. There's been a lot of flooding across the area.
And it looks like the rainfall that's near Saraland right now is lighter, but I mean, I just called it out a moment ago saying, hey, it looks like this heavier rain's moving towards places like Saraland, Creola, Satsuma, and you can see like Hannah's putting that into motion there. That's going right down the road to you there. So just go ahead and be prepared for some heavier rain here in a little bit. I'll tell you a couple of comments here that I'm seeing. Every single time I doze off, there's a giant kaboom. That's just kind of how it's going to be tonight with these showers and thunderstorms. I do want to take a wider look, though, and peek down what's happening near Pensacola, because I think Pensacola is finally getting some rain.
Orange Beach and Gulf Shores, you guys are left out once again, but Pensacola, your time has finally come. It's been about, I would say, 2 or 3 hours, but you probably are going to get some decent heavy downpours, and there's some lightning associated with it. You could see some lightning icons in Seminole, Cantonment, Foley's getting some lightning as well. Just a decent heavy downpour for you guys there. Obviously some lightning, but nothing to be concerned with. Looking at velocity, if we're seeing any decent gusts of wind, we can see it's a little gusty there. Let me put on the product. Give me 1 second.
Real quick update on power outages, 15,000 in Mobile County, and then we have 1,000 or really 1,500 there in Baldwin County. A couple questions about that.
And then pulled up velocity in near Pensacola. We're seeing about 60 mile per hour wind gusts there, so.
And that's a loft. I can't remember what the beam height is there, but that is a loft, but I mean, it's still enough to cause some issues there for sure. Other notes that we've seen, just everybody's talking about how frequent the lightning is, especially in Mobile, and I mean, that's a concern. So actually take a look at this. This is our camera at Dolphins. You know, it's a moon pie over Mobile. You can see it from quite a ways away. We're looking up on the north side there. That's Water Street, the Meridian Apartments right there. State Docks also kind of in the back of that shot. That's looking up north of the Mobile River, and you see all those lightning flashes. It's pretty consistent, and we're not even looking into where most of the lightning is. We're kind of looking to the side of it, so that's where some of the heaviest lightning is right now. We're going to be keeping an eye on that, of course, though, because all that lightning can be pretty rough to deal with there. Here's a look at the lightning overlay right now on the radar, and you can see here that Sims area is just terrible. It looks like on the north side of the university as well. You want to say University of South Alabama, University of Mobile getting in on some of this as well. Also Mobile Airport, north of Mobile Airport, that's going to be an issue. So the deal to think about here, there in Mobile over the next few hours is, yes, we're going to still have rain in Mobile over the next few hours. Do we continue to see Mobile getting rain into the overnight period? I think after midnight we will calm down. That's what a lot of the forecast models have said, and that's been a pretty consistent thing. But as you can see there, still we have more rain coming toward you, especially on the north side of Mobile, so you're going to want to be careful with that. And then looking in Baldwin County, it looks like more light to moderate rain. We'll see how long that lasts. That might last for another hour, hour and a half or so as that rain goes on. And now finally Pensacola getting in on some of that rain as well.
This is an amazing storm that's going on, guys. The lightning back over. I mean, you could see it on the live camera and then see it on the radar. So that's
Admiral, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is nuts.
It is the definition of a light show for sure.
We've got a lot of people in Sims and Wilmer and in southeastern George County that are joining our live stream out of concern. I mean, you have this high concentration of lightning, and it's just going to get a lot of people's attention. I mean, this is the storm that won't stop here, sitting right there on Moffett Road.
Yeah, and you know what? This is interesting. Look at how much lightning is happening on the south side of where the heavy reflectivity is.
Right, so which means it may be tracking that way.
Yeah, and storm. I think building up, and it hasn't stopped. So,
and you can see when you bring it back too, like it almost shifts northward just for a second, because like you mentioned earlier, it's almost trying to separate from the line itself. So that could be a part of it there, and why it's kind of a little bit more intense than the rest of the thunderstorms we're tracking across the area. Agricola, you probably have about 15 more minutes of the heavy downpour, and you should be good for a little bit. What's behind it looks like it's kind of tracking off to your north, so if you're in that location wondering how long you have about 15, 20 minutes. Same with Harleston. Lightning is finally leaving the area. Big Creek Lake, you were still smack dab in the middle of that heavy downpour. Lightning is terrible in Saraland, Satsuma. Definitely not a surprise there, just based off of what we're seeing on our cameras and also what we're seeing with reflectivity. How much longer for this storm sitting over Sims?
We both go. So you see the storm, if you look near Agricola on that map, you see that storm that's building back there. That's also coming to Sims. So I'm a little concerned here, actually, about how Sims might look as we go through the night, because I think that's going to be a flooding concern. One other quick note, moderate rain happening right now down the Causeway Bayway. What I'm seeing is people are taking eastbound Causeway and taking the ramp to get on Interstate 10. And I do not see the extent of the flooding that we saw earlier. So that's what we're looking at. It looks like now, based on the camera views that I'm looking at with our Algo cameras, I think eastbound Causeway might be operational here. Would I recommend it? No, the Bayway honestly might be a better option just because
it's a
more
safer
elevated.
option.
That was a crazy lightning strike that I just saw. Oh my gosh. But it does look like the flooding on the causeway.
Somebody
is not
did
as bad
ask,
as it
will
was.
I-10 be flooded headed east tomorrow morning?
I-10, I don't expect us to have issues on I-10. If anything, we could still have some of those areas near the causeway that have some minor flooding issues. But the big issue tomorrow, Jason, is probably going to be in these in-town streets that still just got a ton of rain.
Yeah, there may be some serious puddles out there. And, you know, there's some areas across the Gulf Coast that we typically watch out for flooding that may not have the kind of flooding out of this setup than what we normally see. And a lot of that is typically centered in Baldwin County on Fish River. And the Fish River gauge, the National Weather Service issued a river flood warning and projected a peak up around 17 feet. Right now, they backed off on that prediction. It looks like Fish River watershed, we're thinking around 13 feet. So that's going to be moderate flood stage for Fish River, but it's not the levels like we've seen with some of the other events, the Baldwin County historic flood, for example. Bayou Sarah at Saraland right now is approaching major flood stage. It has exceeded the level that we were thinking earlier, and it's getting close to 7.5 feet. And at 7.5 feet, that's where we start to see issues. 8.3 feet Bayou Sarah Avenue floods. So it's going to be a close call in Bayou Sarah. Right now, we're looking at the record ever was 9.8 on that, and right now we're looking at a level of 6.38 feet. It looks like it'll be having up to about 7.5 feet there. The Chickasaw Creek at Cushla is up. It looks like it's gone up about 8 feet. So
that's where we're getting heavy rain right now.
Yeah, we're watching that one. Big Creek, there are not a lot of houses in the Big Creek floodplain, but there's a tremendous amount of water coming down Crooked Creek and also Hamilton Creek, which flows away from some of the plant nurseries in Sims. Hamilton Creek, there was flooding in the Snow Road area earlier today, and our Natalie Williamson was in that area, and Hamilton Creek was shown to be about 7.5 feet. Now it's at almost 9 feet, so it's jumped another 1.5 feet. We're going to have to watch that area. Big Creek below Big Creek Lake right now is running about 10 feet above normal, so that's a big river there. The Escatawpa at Wilmer is close to minor flood stage. I expect it to continue to climb, but there's no projected crest on that one. So all in all, I'm not overly concerned about the river levels in the area. I think the one that we've got to watch that's in major flood would be Bayou Sarah, but currently the Styx River, there's more water coming in the Styx River watershed. It's currently at 8 feet. It's projected to go to about 14 feet. That heavy thunderstorm that came across Baldwin County, a lot of that water came into the Styx River watershed, and it usually takes a little while for the river gauges to respond. So it may be a little while before we know exactly what we have in that watershed, but I would expect a big rise on the Styx River, and there's a campground right there. There are some houses along Styx River that could be impacted, so we're going to have to watch out for that. It seems like the heaviest rain that we're seeing in our area right now is out around Big Creek Lake, and all the tributaries that flow into the lake, Hamilton Creek, Crooked Creek, Puppy Creek, and getting into the Escatawpa River right there. That's not as much in the Escatawpa watershed as it is kind of right on top of the central part of the river. So we'll just have to monitor this. I think the main concern would be road flooding, localized floodings, ditches, and small streams, and not so much the major rivers at this point because of where the rain is actually falling. And this is one local downpour that there have been some question as, will it come back into downtown Mobile? We'll see. It's kind of been parked right there over Sims and over Wilmer, and it looks like the storm may be trying to shift a little towards the east-northeast. So temporarily, it's not made any rapid progress towards downtown Mobile. It's just kind of sitting in this one spot. and it's still going on in north and southeast George County too. It's just part of it's just sitting there. So yeah, it's interesting to see how this thing has evolved. It's kind of split off of what looked like more of an elongated squall line, and then now it's its own storm, and it's just sitting in one spot. I mean, it's not even really raining down to the south of Mobile Regional Airport right now, but we've got a horrible thunderstorm there going on along Moffett Road.
Yeah, a couple of notes real quick. First of all, please don't go outside if you are in Sims, and don't go try to play in the water that's out there. The lightning is ridiculous, and we don't want people that are struck by lightning something because of this, so please be careful out there. By the way, no tornado warnings out there right now. Saw that comment. Also, a couple questions here that we got regarding, hey, I need to drive across the bay tomorrow morning. That's my normal commute on Friday. Friday's a work day here. What are we expecting? And it might be wet still. There might be some showers and thunderstorms. I'm not super concerned about it, though.
I'm not either, just based off of some of the models we've looked at. It looks like some of the storms start to build around 7, 8 o'clock-ish, and then they really start to move through the area during the late morning hours and into the afternoon. We looked for the most part to be clear. I wouldn't say completely clear, but have nothing really to worry about after, I would say, about 3 o'clock in the morning to about 8 o'clock in the morning. That time frame we look good for the most part. Then thunderstorms could start to develop again, like I said, in the late morning hours, just based off of some of the modeling we've seen. So if you have to commute over the bay around 7 a.m., you should be good. Like Nick mentioned, it's just mainly the fact that the roads will be wet, and a lot of the roads that are flooded will not be clear right away, so that'll take some time as well. So just give yourself some extra time. I can't promise that your commute you won't run into issues, barricaded roads, flooded roads, but if you're going across the Bayway at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, you should be good.
If you were looking at the radar and what I was checking there were a couple areas of spin that I just wanted to check out there. We're kind of watching the back end of this here.
It's almost like it's trying to back build like what we've been watching. It's trying. Mm-hmm. It just depends on, I mean, the thing that's helping these thunderstorms is it's not just a front moving through the area. We have that energy left over from Arthur, and it's playing a role into these thunderstorms being able to trail and such. That's why we're seeing this thunderstorm just kind of sit over Sims. It's not a severe thunderstorm, but it's definitely a loud and rowdy one. A lot of people keep asking if we have a severe thunderstorm warning in Mobile. No, we do not, but it's definitely a light show. You can see on our camera there off in the distance, definitely a lot of lightning still with this storm, as it's just kind of sitting over Sims and Wilmer and such, and doesn't look like it's moving anytime soon. We'll see what it decides to do. It could be trying to stall out, but it could be trying to do something on the back end there, but we are keeping an eye on it. Obviously, we will keep you updated if something does happen, but right now it's not a concern. Just if you're affected by this, just stay inside. Do not go outside. If you like the lightning, watch it from your window. But other than that, do not go outside. This is our future cast right now.
Look at this into like 11 o'clock tonight. Notice it shows in Mobile County specifically this back building. And what we mean by back building is they keep developing on the back end of the line. So if the line of thunderstorms going like on a train on a track to you, it's like the caboose keeps reappearing and going over and over and over again, and you get a ton of rain. So that's going to be a concern for us. This is 1 a.m., and it could still be raining in parts of Mobile and Baldwin counties, George and Greene counties as well. It's really not until 3 a.m. where things start to calm down, and I do think there's going to be a little lull around 3 a.m. before things get active once again
right
as
when
we
the
go.
sun starts to come up.
Yeah, right around sunrise, and you see just scattered showers and thunderstorms. We have a high rain chance tomorrow. That's what we're expecting there. And some of these same areas could deal with some flash flooding. The severe weather threat's not going to be as high tomorrow, though, and it's going to be almost just kind of like your typical summertime thunderstorm. So that's the deal. Around 3 a.m., I think there's going to be a bit of a lull. Here's the future cast again as we roll through it. Midnight, This is 2 a.m. and you can see the rain starts to fade a little bit. By 3 a.m., 4 a.m., it loses its steam. Then around sunrise, our inland areas start to see more showers and thunderstorms developing, and it's not going to be as aggressive as they were today, but definitely some scattered rain happening there. And looking at the potential rainfall as we look at this through Friday and into Friday afternoon, you can see those areas that might see some significant totals. It's north of Interstate 10, some of the areas that have seen significant totals so far today. So, yes, we have more rain coming our way. It's going to be a little more scattered. It's not a guarantee that everybody sees what we've seen today, but we could see some heavy rain.
And then I did see a comment in the Facebook group chat. Somebody was mentioning what are all the polygons that we're seeing on our screen right now.
Yes.
So the yellow one off to the east, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. That's not in our area. That is over Dothan. The maroon colored ones, those are flash flood warnings. Those are not tornado warnings. I know it can get a little confusing. Our tornado warnings are bright red for those who do not know. If you see this darker red, that is flash flooding. We do have actually a severe thunderstorm warning popping up now. That's just on the tail end of our northwest Florida counties. Some gusty winds associated with it there. It's just east of Allentown. A little bit of lightning there as well. Crestview, you're about to get part of this probably in about 20-ish minutes. Deerland, same thing there. So
this new severe thunderstorm warning is in place for Santa Rosa and Okaloosa County. It does contain a tornado possible tag, and it'll go until 9:45 p.m. for Okaloosa and Santa Rosa counties. This does include the city of Crestview. This also includes Banker, Munson, Gallagher. And one thing that we're going to watch in this tornado possible tag is these little areas here that could get a little spinny again on the leading edge of this. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning, Jason, for Santa Rosa and Okaloosa counties.
Yeah, let's take the band full if we can. I'd like to invite everyone. My mic is on. I'm on Anchor 2. I would like to invite everyone to be tuning in to Fox 10 News tonight at 9 p.m. for our streaming edition of the 9 o'clock show. If you're watching us right now, this is going to keep rolling. We're going to roll right into a really great newscast at 9 o'clock. So we're going to keep the great weather coverage going, but we're also going to add in some of the pictures from today, a lot of the problems. And what Nicholas was talking about there is that this new severe thunderstorm warning, there is a rotation area we're watching approaching Kelly's Mill. This is tracking along Interstate 10 in the direction of Crestview. This is basically an extension of the same storm that came across 97 earlier. And there's certainly some straight line winds around Floridale, and that's going to extend back towards Broxton. It's tracking towards Nubbin Ridge, Gallagher, Holt, some of the communities there along Highway 90. Here is the storm track on this. This is moving to the east at about 24 miles an hour. And if you're watching us here right now on the stream, just stay with us because coming up in 7 minutes, we're going to roll over into Fox 10 News at 9 p.m. and we're going to have a more comprehensive news coverage and weather coverage of what has happened through the whole day today, and also update you on these strong to severe thunderstorms with the heavy rain and flooding potential in our area this evening. All right, the storm track on this one. Holt by 8:59, Cannontown by 9:05, Milligan by 9:07, Crestview by 9:12. A fast-moving storm racing across Okaloosa County here. So, you know, some of these storms have been moving quickly and others have been sitting still. It looks like the ones over the western side of the area, the big storm we have in Sims right now is back building. But what's happening in the Crestview area is moving more quickly forward. And it's actually storming right now in Pensacola and down to the beach in some areas that have not seen the storms yet today. This is actually interesting. You know, there are some places like Gulf Shores and Orange Beach that haven't seen much rain, and it's still pretty dry in Gulf Shores, but it does look like the storm has worked its way down now into Pensacola and out towards the Pensacola Bay Bridge and the 3 Mile Bridge, and is starting to track more into and along Santa Rosa Island here and into Gulf Breeze. And then the severe part of it is right here in Santa Rosa County. Current time is 8:55, so we're approximately 5 minutes out from Fox 10 News at 9 p.m. streaming edition. We're streaming tonight at 9 o'clock because we have sports on, soccer game going on Fox 10. Checking out the latest Mobile County again. So this is something that we've been tracking here. Hannah and Nick were talking about it for a while, and we are still looking at a locally heavy, intense downpour with locally a tremendous amount of lightning going on in Sims. And so this is going to be in Sims and then up to Lott Road. So McCrary Road here, and then further up towards Lott Road, and the new Highway 98 is also likely going to be impacted by this heavy cluster of lightning. It's going to be in Sims and on the north side of Sims up to Millertown. And it has not made any, we're seeing the lightning strikes from Mobile, but it's not made any progress towards Mobile. It really looks like the heaviest of it is trying to build up towards Cushla. And so it's getting into the Chickasaw Creek area and building in the direction of Satsuma and Saraland. We are also seeing real intense rain all the way wrapping back through Sims and into Wilmer. So we still have concerns about Wolf Road and the upper part of Snow Road and Blackwell Nursery Road, and then, you know, out into Wilmer Road, Natchez Highway, and then Callioca Road now, getting over to Highway 45, Spice Pond. This area here, you're seeing heavy downpours building in your direction, and this thunderstorm's not in any hurry. We're not seeing a lot of progress with it. I can kind of see some improvements on the back edge of it, but other than that, it looks like we're pretty much stuck with this one for a while. So our stream will continue. It is currently 8:57. We're about 3 minutes out from Fox 10 News at 9 p.m. I'll just stay with it here for a little bit longer. In fact, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to send it over to Nicholas and Hannah and let them bridge this while we get set up for Fox 10 News at 9 p.m. My co-anchor, Lenise Ligon, just rolled into the studio, so we're close now.
So yeah, we are setting up for Fox 10 News here. It's 8:57. We have not too long ago. Oh, my mic is not on. Hello. There you go. As you can see here, we're rolling into 9 o'clock news here pretty soon. So the overall situation right now, as you can see with us, is our inland spots actually starting to see a little less rain now, which is very, very nice. It's kind of light to moderate rain right now. The heaviest stuff is in Mobile County.
It is, but now I'm taking a look at, you see all that stuff off north of Hattiesburg. That is what I think our HRRR is tracking for the back building that we were looking at just about, I think, 10 minutes ago. So we're going to keep an eye on that. It is producing some lightning, but for now, we have that one severe thunderstorm in place over in northwest Florida, mainly for gusty winds. It does have that tornado possible tag, which I'm not surprised by. We are seeing little areas of rotation. Now that this line that we were originally tracking, it's not linear anymore. When it was linear, it was mainly a wind threat. Now that it's kind of breaking up and bowing a little bit, it's not one singular line. So seeing these areas of rotation is not a surprise. Now, every single area that rotates is not going to be a tornado-warned storm, but it's something to keep an eye on because it's one of those things that could spin in one scan, then the next scan it'll be gone. So that's just kind of the atmosphere we're dealing with right now. We do not have a tornado watch in place, but that doesn't mean our tornado probability is at 0.
Yeah, okay, so actually regarding that, because I got the question, now, will we see any more severe tornado warnings later on tonight? I can't rule that out completely. I mean, the back end of this storm over Big Creek Lake is rotating right now. We got to keep an eye on that. But already noting some road closures and issues in Sims because of the heavy rain that has fallen there. And on Fox 10 News at 9, we'll get more updates on that. Right now here in Pensacola, you are dealing with heavy rain for the first time today. And then we have one severe thunderstorm warning that continues. This severe thunderstorm warning is going to go until 9:45. It maintains a tornado possible tag, and this is moving into Crestview. So if you are in Crestview, you have not too long now before you get some pretty heavy wind. And actually, I will say also, so quickly let's look at this in velocity. It's still a little weak rotation there. We're going to keep an eye on that going on to Crestview. And then, of course, one last thing. It actually looks like they have introduced a special weather statement for this thunderstorm here for the potential for gusty winds. So Sims really getting into a rough situation there. If you're south of Interstate 10, though, it is quieter right now. So your time now is 9 o'clock. And I believe we are ready to start. Somebody tell me if we are good. We are going to start Fox 10 News at 9 right now.
Heavy rain in the area with some roads closed in the Sims area. Severe weather and flooding. We'll have a complete update coming up.
Got our people working with equipment, trying to prevent any flooding into their homes.
Yeah, pouring rain, roads underwater, power out for a lot of people tonight. We're going to show you the trouble spots that turned impassable and what crews are doing right now to keep floodwaters out of homes. Plus, Midtown Mobile turning into a no-wake zone tonight. Massive downpours forcing drivers to push through high water, down trees and front yards, and one woman grateful it wasn't worse. Fox News at 9 is starting right now.
First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 News starts now.
It has been an active night, from tornado warnings to flash flooding and everything in between. Let's jump right in and get the very latest on where these storms are now. Our chief meteorologist, Jason Smith, is standing by.
Some updates here on the flooding going on in the forecast area. A lot of the roads out towards Sims are reportedly flooded here this evening, so we've got that going on in the forecast area. And I'm just checking some of these closures here. Wolf Road, Nursery Road, Illinois at Church and Jeremy Drive and Redstone. These are areas around Hamilton Creek and on the south side of Sims. And so an overview of the situation right now, we've got about half the area under flash flood warnings right now. South and southeast George County, most of central Mobile County, especially along the Wilmer and Sims area, getting intense lightning and heavy rain. Then Baldwin County, we've got a broad shield of mainly light to moderate rain that stretches all the way down to the coast. We're actually getting thunderstorms in Pensacola and Pensacola Beach in some areas for the first time today. We're also seeing showers and storms over the inland parts of the area up I-65 with some rain going on at Atmore. I want to do a zoom in here and show you what's happening right here in West Mobile, because this is where it's at its worst. And this is really a little north of West Mobile. This is going to be near Big Creek Lake, Sims, the Lott Road area, Wilmer, Natchez Highway, and out towards Millertown. This is an area that has had basically a red cell sitting on top of it for more than an hour, in some locations about 2 straight hours of rain and lightning. And we're looking at rainfall totals here that are likely going to be in the 8 to 10 inch range before it's all said and done. So we have a tremendous amount of heavy rain going on right now in this area, and also a lot of lightning. We've actually got a new white polygon right here. We're going to get you updated on that, but definitely looking at very heavy rain going on in this area right now, and some closed roads in the Sims area, which I just mentioned. And it's interesting, down at Mobile Regional Airport and then down to, like, say, Spring Hill and Midtown, we're not seeing any problems. But then as you move up to the north, we've got this cell that's just been parked along Lott Road, and it stretches up to about Chunchula and over to Saraland and Satsuma. And the amount of lightning strikes that have been going on in this area, they're just incredible. The lightning that keeps popping and firing in the area. So this is one of the biggest concerns right now, is the flooding threat in Mobile County from the heavy rain that's just been sitting in one spot from the north side of Big Creek Lake to Wilmer to Sims and over to Calioka Road and the new Highway 98, 158 there, and the southern end of Highway 45 and Highway 43. Very intense thunderstorm in Mobile County. And then we have our severe thunderstorm warning that is currently still in effect, with a tornado possible with this one here bearing down on Crestview. So this is coming through Okaloosa County, and this is in effect until 9:45 p.m. So that's going to include the eastern section of Santa Rosa County, and then right on top of Holt and Milligan here, and getting close to Crestview now with this cell here. There is a bow signature right there in Galliver. This is getting past Floridale, and I'm not seeing anything that stands out as rotating now. There were a couple of little rotation areas we were watching earlier, but definitely some gusty winds with this storm that is coming through. So to sum up the impacts of this overall overall weather system for the rest of the night. We are still going to be on guard for 1 or 2 severe thunderstorms. We're also significantly concerned about the possibility of flooding going on in our area because of this persistent rain that's just sitting in one spot in a couple of key areas. And it's mainly going to be this middle part of the forecast area where some of these thunderstorms could persist. The rainfall forecast on the high res through 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon shows an additional 7 inches of rain in some areas. So there could be locally heavy rain that goes into the night. While some of the areas may seem just fine or just get an inch or 2 of rain, there are other locations that may pick up an additional 5 inches. This is with a future cast with it, the high-res future cast. And look at this. It's still showing persistent red cells and downpours. They get a little more scattered, but pretty much sitting in one spot through around 3 or 4 a.m. It'll be a little quieter, and then at daybreak, a new band may form up here on your Friday. And we're not done with the rain tomorrow. So we're going to have more on that coming up here on Fox 10 News at 9 o'clock. But I just wanted to give you an overview of the situation. The rough rip current surf situation is going to continue too. Other areas we may see some improvements, and I'll have more on that on Fox 10 News.
All right, Jason, thank you. And talking about the surf conditions, Fort Morgan Fire Rescue says a man died while trying to save his son. Fort Morgan Fire Rescue telling us they got a call for 2 swimmers in distress yesterday. The fire department, the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office responded. Deputies say a 40-year-old man and his 10-year-old son were in the water, and the father was trying to help him because the son was struggling. They were pulled from the water by other people at the beach and given CPR. The father later died. Tonight, a day of pouring rain across parts of Mobile and Baldwin counties. Flooded streets, stranded water, and road closings just left behind in the wake. Our Claudia Nichols is live in Mobile tonight. And Claudia, you were out in all of this when it started to get pretty bad.
Was Lanice. What started out as a light rain quickly turned into heavy sheets of pouring rain, and it didn't take long for trouble spots across Mobile County to become impassable. Thunder, lightning, and heavy rain pounded the city of Creola. Within minutes, low-lying areas were underwater. Creola Mayor Don Nelson says the storm hit just weeks after several inches of rain soaked the city.
2 weeks ago, we had 20 inches of rain over to it, and I'm not sure what we got out there now, but the city's out and looking and trying to help.
Nelson says flooding is always a concern when rain comes down this fast. He says city crews were out monitoring roads and trying to keep water from pushing into people's homes.
Got our people working with equipment, trying to prevent any flooding into their homes. So that's probably a prime concern everybody has.
On Old Highway 43 in Creola, water rushed into front yards. After the first burst of heavy rain, lawns were swamped, trash cans were knocked over and floating away, and parts of the road became difficult to see. The same scene played out in other parts of Mobile County. Here on Old Shell Road, several feet of water have collected under this overpass. City crews just left the scene after blocking off the road to keep drivers away from the floodwaters. This is just one of several spots across the area where heavy rainfall has triggered flooding. Power outages were also reported across the area. In some places, stoplights went dark, creating even more problems for drivers already dealing with flooded roads. Well, tonight, some people are still without power. A few roads remain closed. Officials continue urging drivers not to drive around barricades or through flooded roadways. Live in Mobile, Claudia Nichols, Fox 10 News.
Claudia, thank you. The weather forcing the Alabama Department of Transportation to close the causeway to eastbound traffic. That created a traffic nightmare for commuters this afternoon. Drivers on the causeway diverted to I-10, and there was a huge backup all the way beyond the Dolphin Island Parkway exit. As we typically see, there is a lot of water on the causeway when we get heavy rain. The parking lots of the businesses and restaurants there were just flooded. Midtown Mobile is feeling the effects tonight with flooded streets and downed trees in some neighborhoods. At last check, the number of power outages was at 10,000 for Mobile. You had drivers out there taking Government and Ann Street, but using a lot of caution. Natalie Williamson went to Midtown where she spoke with a resident who says the storms brought down a tree in their front yard.
I mean, it came like a monsoon out of nowhere.
Tonight, heavy rain drenching Midtown Mobile, flooding streets and knocking down trees. Roads like Government and South Ann Streets covered in water. Some drivers slowed down, others pushed through the flood water. City of Mobile crews responded quickly to help drain the high water. South Ann Street is known to flood, especially when we experience a lot of rain, which is why this sign right here, which reads "No Wake Zone," is posted to remind drivers to go slow. Meanwhile, further down Ann Street, Savannah Gordon was inside her home when she says she heard a loud noise. When she looked outside, she couldn't believe it.
I mean, the wind was blowing really hard and it was raining real bad, and I just heard something loud outside, so I went to look, and I mean, the tree had fallen this way and it went on our fence, and I don't know, I was just glad it didn't come in the house the way that the wind was blowing.
Gordon tells me while this part of Ann Street is no longer flooded, earlier she had to move her car and fear water would get inside. How high was it, like, on your car? Was it covering the tires or something?
It was about halfway up, like about where the bottom of the door opens up at. We've had flooding before, but I've never had to move my car for it. I'm honestly just so thankful that as bad as it is, it happened the way that it did, because it genuinely could have been a lot worse.
In Mobile, Natalie Williamson, Fox 10 News.
And with the storms like what we're experiencing today, it's a reminder that we're also in hurricane season through November. United Way of Southwest Alabama is teaming up with Verizon for disaster preparedness workshops along the Gulf Coast. There will be 4 throughout the summer, with the first starting July 14th at Tillman's Corner. We have a list of the other workshops for you and the locations. That's on fox10tv.com. Dangerous flooding and storm damage across Mississippi and Louisiana, and at least 1 life loss. A county road crew member in Franklin County, Mississippi, was killed while helping with the storm cleanup there. Tonight, crews are also closely watching a dam in Pearl River County that could be at risk of failing. Water everywhere. Striking video from Pearl River County. Water gushing through the spillways of the Anchor Lake Dam. About 30 nearby homes have been evacuated, with people urged to seek higher ground. Multiple roads remain closed across George, Hancock, Harrison, Pearl River, and Stone counties. In Harrison County, the fire chief there says crews made at least 50 water rescues, wading through waist-deep water as massive, deeply rooted trees blocked the streets and cut off entire neighborhoods. He called it one of the more intense storms he's seen. And in Stone County, the Wiggins police chief says dozens of people saved from floodwaters, which are now finally starting to recede. Across the state line in Kenner, Louisiana, police calling it a gut punch. 6 to 10 inches of rain in less than 2 hours. It just flooded the streets, including the Chateau Estates area, and left 50 to 70 vehicles stalled citywide. Niles was among the hardest hit areas, with significant damage to stores and homes. And then this, an 18-wheeler blown over by the wind off Lake Pontchartrain. Despite the way it looks, the driver was not hurt. Now, Mississippi's governor is asking neighbors to avoid the flooded streets, monitor emergency alerts, and above all, stay safe. To do that, one of your best ways to stay informed on the weather would be the Fox 10 News weather app. It is a free download on your smartphone, whether you have an Apple device or an Android device. We have a QR code on your screen. If you scan that, it will take you to the app inside your app store. Again, this is the best way to keep up with the changing weather in the Fox 10 News viewing area.
Being in a shark attack is one thing, but then creating a law after it is like crazy.
2 years after a shark attack took her hand and leg, an Alabama teenager is turning that trauma into change. How Lulu Gribben went from learning to walk on prosthetics left a bill on the president's desk and the foundation she is using to help others fight back.
Check. Everyone keep an eye on it. Looks like the back end of that is no longer spinning. Oh, thank goodness. So now, oh wow. Looks like there's a back edge on this to Sims.
Oh yeah, there is, thank God. But the Stormtracker truck going up Moffett Road still should be an adventure. That might actually be good for us to be able to get in there without, as the rain comes to an end, because you know, you kind of hit the peak of it.
Okay, so this is not the correct spot for Putnam, right?
True.
Flooding has caused roads.
I have essentially a full weather hit here built. We can spend as much time on radar though as we need.
Yeah, probably do the full weather.
Okay. Heads up, there's a bit of a back edge developing on this stuff in Sims, so it might calm down pretty soon and we might get a nice clean shot because it looks like there's a back edge rolling through.
All right, take a look at Midtown Mobile. It got swamped this afternoon. Water everywhere. This area is notorious for flooding, and boy, did it. Way too much rain for the drainage systems to handle. Some cars flooded out. The water has receded a little. It's going to be a while, so take it easy if you have to drive in that area tonight. And part of the causeway became part of Mobile Bay today. Take a look at this video a viewer sent us. The eastbound lanes, just forget about it. They were closed. High tide hit right when the torrential downpours came, and it threw a big south wind. That is what you get right there. Yeah, and just say timber in Tolmanville. A tree down near Osage and MLK. County crews, city crews, Johnny on the spot with that quick cleanup there. The high wind and saturated ground proving to be too much for a lot of the trees today. Jason, it was quite the adventure.
It was, and it's quite the night here. Check out this video here in our back parking lot here as well, with the heavy wind blowing in the area. A lot of wind at the Fox 10 News studios. And tonight we're not done. We are getting heavy lightning going on in Mobile County still. And it looks like we have seen the back edge of the heavy rain over the west side of Sims, thankfully. But Sims and Wilmer tonight, it's been horrible. We had one big red cell just parked here. We'll have to make sure nothing tries to swing in for the west. But it looks like this thunderstorm is finally on the move. And we're still looking at lightning and heavy downpours from about Mobile Regional Airport, but definitely a lot heavier up towards Moffett Road, right at Sims. The west side of Sims and back to Wilmer is temporarily beginning to clear, and the storm is shifting towards Cushla and Saraland. And I've been watching our Stormtracker truck as it's been driving out Moffett Road. We've been seeing a lot of lightning, a real light show in this area. We're headed out to Sims to survey some of the damage. We do have flooding for Wolf Road, Nursery Road, Illinois at Church, Jeremy Drive, and Redstone, all potentially flooded out at this point. And there's McCrary Road right there. The heaviest of the rain is now right along and east of McCrary Road, and it's headed towards University. That's where it's building towards right now. We're also seeing heavy rain in Saraland and Satsuma. This activity is starting to finally move to the northeast. It was just back building over Wilder and Sims for a while there. We're starting to get a little movement here. We'll see if it clips Mobile. Right now it's a little north of town. We do have a severe thunderstorm across the Florida Panhandle right now, and there is a warning up right now for Okaloosa County between Crestview and Fort Walton Beach near Niceville and Eglin. And we'll continue to watch this one. It should be in the forecast area for about another 20 minutes as it tracks towards Walton County. And this is along Highway 85, which is the road that leads you between Crestview and the Mid-Bay Bridge. All right, let's take you through some of the maps. I want to show you the forecast here. And it's possible that we may get a new tornado watch, or if we don't see that, that there's still the potential for a brief tornado or locally damaging wind gusts in this area. South Mobile County, South Baldwin County, and the Panhandle through the night. The areas in yellow have seen 8 to 10 inches of rain, and this is one of those areas, the Sims location. We've seen Hamilton Creek way up, about 8.5 inches of rain there, 9.5 inches near Loosedale, 8.3 inches just north of Bay Minette, getting close to Lottie. So we've seen some torrential rain in our area today, dealing with the remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur. There still may be more to come. And the prediction through Saturday on the high-res model shows we could get some pockets with 4 to 8 inches of rain in addition to what's already fallen. So we're not done. There is a PDS flood watch in effect through Friday evening for the entire area. Potentially dangerous situation. There is a rare Level 4 high risk of flooding in our area, and that's really the entire Gulf Coast with the exception of the immediate beaches. And then that's for tonight. And then tomorrow it is a medium flood risk again for a lot of the Gulf Coast. We tonight still could see the potential of some severe weather, level 2 risk zone here. So we're going to stay with it as we head into the overnight hours tonight and monitor things for you. We do taper back to a marginal risk, but still some risk of severe weather tomorrow with a 70% rain chance in the forecast. The Futurecast keeps this rain around through about 2 or 3 a.m. It does begin to weaken it, and then at daybreak tomorrow morning, we will see more showers and storms getting going. Hey, we could be busy on radar tomorrow morning. You want to check in with Matt for updates on that. And through the day, showers and thunderstorms likely again tomorrow with a saturated atmosphere and still some leftover tropical moisture from that tropical system. We also have a front working in tomorrow too, so that's the reason why our rain chances are so high. Here's a look at the percentages. We do have a high surf advisory for tomorrow, rough surf. It's a stay out of the Gulf week and into the weekend. Just don't even think about getting in the Gulf. I know we got Father's Day weekend coming up. Our rain chances do become more scattered on Saturday and Sunday. They become isolated on Monday. Eventually this will end, but we've got a ways to go before we get there. Active weather could continue at least for the first half of the night again for tonight.
It's been 2 years since a shark attack changed the life of a Mountain Brook teenager, Lulu Gribben, costing her her hand and a leg. She's turned that trauma into a foundation and a push to prevent shark attacks and fight for better prosthetic access. Alabama political correspondent Jessica Umbro spoke with Lulu about her bill that is now on the president's desk.
It was a day at the beach nobody could have seen coming. 15-year-old Lulu Gribben and her friend were attacked by a shark in Florida. In the right place at the right time, doctors and nurses vacationing on the beach too were there to help, saving Lulu, who was worse off than her friend and
we will try to get you that updated story with Lulu later. We can tell you that it is posted to fox10tv.com. And the Lulu Strong Foundation, it accepts donations, incidentally, directly on their website. Mobile County DA Keith Blackwood says a nearly 30-year-old cold case has finally reached its conclusion. Today, Andre Landrum was sentenced to life in prison for first-degree rape and first-degree burglary, plus 30 years for second-degree rape. Prosecutors say Landrum broke into a Mobile home in 1997 and held a 15-year-old girl at knife point and sexually assaulted her. The case was unsolved for decades until advances in DNA technology helped identify Landrum as a suspect. In the courtroom, the judge telling Landrum he believed without a shadow of a doubt that he committed those crimes and praised the victim for her courage in testifying. The defense attorney says that the sentence wasn't a surprise, but he believes there are several aspects of the case that could be challenged upon appeal.
This has been a long time coming for this courageous victim. The technology for DNA was not what it is now, and with more modern methods, we were able to identify Andre Landrum as that perpetrator. A life sentence is a very long time, and he deserves every day of it.
Well, there was a massive delay in bringing the case, and also there was evidence that was destroyed. We were not able, as the defense counsel, to retest the DNA in this case, which leaves us with just depending on what the government did 15, 20 years ago.
Several of our partner agencies are always looking at cold cases. As we have advances in technology, that will allow us to re-examine some of those. As we get more information, cold cases can be reopened. So those are something that our partner agencies are focused on at all times.
After the sentencing, Landrum's attorney immediately announced plans to appeal the conviction. The nation's highest court weighing in on guns and marijuana. Why justices say one Texas man's pot use alone isn't enough to take away his firearm rights.
Of severe thunder or flash flood warnings. We only have
The Supreme Court says using marijuana does not bar you from owning a gun. The High Court ruling in favor of a Texas marijuana user who claimed his Second Amendment rights were violated. Let's go to Brendan Cullerton to break down the case.
The Supreme Court says Ali Hamani is not prohibited from owning a gun just because he uses marijuana, in a ruling that has increased importance with the growth of marijuana use in the U.S. Investigators searched Hamani's home and found a gun, marijuana, and cocaine in his parents' closet. Hamani admitted to using marijuana a few times a week, but said his mother had hidden the cocaine. Texas attempted to charge Hamani under the Federal Gun Control Act of 1968, which bans an unlawful user of a controlled substance from possessing a firearm. Marijuana remains a controlled substance. The law is often used in combination with other offenses, but in Hamani's case, it was the only crime he was charged with. The same law was used to prosecute Hunter Biden, who was ultimately pardoned by his father. The law carries a penalty of up to 15 years in federal prison and disarmament for life. This was a unanimous ruling by the Supreme Court. It upholds the ruling from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. The Supreme Court says this is a narrow ruling that does not address either addicts or those actively under the influence from possessing firearms. From the Supreme Court, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
Well, thank you for watching the streaming edition of Fox 10 News at 9. We are going to see you on the air after the Mexico and South Korea World Cup match. First, we want to take you out to Moffett Road. We are seeing some difficult situations out there in terms of navigating the traffic standstill with that rain and all that flashing of lightning. Let's go ahead and take it over to our chief meteorologist, Jason Smith.
Closures as we were out near Moffett Road there, and we're just going to keep talking about this for a little while because we are streaming here, so we have the flexibility to be able to do this here on Fox 10 News. So we are going to be going to this. I'm going to step back so I can get you some information that's going on about this shot right here. We've had some reports from Claudia of what's happening with the live Stormtracker truck, and Moffett Road may be shut down near Magnolia Grove. So that's going to be right in through here. An area of Moffett Road may be closed right now. So our Stormtracker is located pretty close to either Schillinger and Moffett, or somewhere right in this area. Here's Magnolia Grove, so it might be near Magnolia Grove Parkway, which is right here, and it looks like we've got a closure on Moffett Road. We've got the recipe for some almost catastrophic flooding going on in western Mobile County right now. This thunderstorm is still raining heavily out near Magnolia Grove Golf Course, but it's actually finally weakened around Sims, so we're going to have our Stormtracker out in this area and keep tabs on what we've seen as far as road closures and water damage. But we sent the Stormtracker out Moffett Road, and we weren't even able to make it to Sims. It looks like we've gotten stopped right here between University and Schillinger, right near Magnolia Grove Parkway. So we've got a closure there on Moffett Road as a result. Taking a look at what's happening with thunderstorms in the area. Wow, finally it started to move. This thing here has jumped across Saraland and is now tracking towards Bay Minette. And you can see the storm here, the lightning strikes, a high concentration of lightning, and moving towards 225 and Bay Minette along Highway 31. So we're finally see this thing that was parked over Sims beginning to move. We'll just have to continue to watch it because it's producing an amazing amount of lightning. We're actually seeing a lot of lightning strikes over Mobile, even though the rain is not that hard in the heart of Mobile. It's interesting to see lightning strikes here where it's not even raining that hard. The Pritchard area, and it looks like down Moffett Road, the lightning is actually popping where the storm is not raining hard. So that's an interesting thing to see there. And as far as rotation in it right now, we're not seeing anything that stands out, but we're definitely looking at a lot of heavy wind. There is a bit of a hook signature here, so we're going to have to monitor that for rotation as it moves back through the Mobile area as well. So this has been part of our streaming edition of Fox 10 News at 9 p.m. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith here with an update. We're going to have a full newscast live on the air as we get to when we finish out tonight's soccer match on Fox 10. But in the meantime, we may at least keep radar up and occasionally pop in and tell you what we see going on here. If we can go back to that live picture, I'd like to look and see what it looks like with the scene there at Magnolia Grove, where we've got that possible road closure here. And so it's a little hard to see with our Stormtracker. That's Moffett Road. That is a U.S. highway. And I can see some flashing lights off into the distance there. So definitely looking at the potential of some flooded out roads or some impassable roads, at least a couple of lanes. Our traffic tracker is not showing anything in particular as far as a closure. I'm checking it on Google Maps, and it does show up as red right at the entrance to Magnolia Grove. So it looks like that is going to be where the delay is. is at Magnolia Grove Parkway. That looks like the spot where we're seeing the problems. And I'm going to look at it on topo here too, because you've got a creek that comes down that's called Clear Creek that comes off of Magnolia Grove Golf Course here. And so it runs right through here. And this is most likely where the closure is occurring. It ends up over in Red Creek. Red Creek flows this way, and Clear Creek kind of drains up across Moffett Road there. So we probably have water coming across the road right there at Clear Creek. So that's going to be a real small tributary or branch. Hopefully it's something that gets cleared up by tomorrow morning. Hopefully we're not seeing a situation where we've got the road washing out. We also have reports of closures at Wolf Road, which is further to the west, and I would just be careful anywhere out around Sims. Travel's not advised tonight. The heaviest of the rain has fallen around Howells Ferry, Magnolia Grove, Wolf Road, Snow Road, right in through here. We are not seeing heavy rain there now, but what happened in the last 2 or 3 hours was on top of 4 or 5 inches of rain earlier today, and we've got some storm totals up around 8 inches in this area. A lot of it came down in a very short period of time. That heavy rain is now moving, and we don't want it to sit in one spot. So we're not wishing it on Saraland, but move on through and get out of here. It's headed towards the Mobile-Tensaw Delta. It does look like the southern edge of it here. This is a pretty impressive thunderstorm here, so just have to make sure we don't have any rotation down on the southern end of it. It is coming towards Crichton now. It's actually coming down Moffett Road at Interstate 65. It is clipping Spring Hill. There's a lot of lightning here, and this is going to move right down. It looks like Moffett Road and track right into Mobile. I'm going to step back and we'll just look at the live picture here, and this is the light show from this storm. This thing is crazy looking right now. It is really popping and firing. The lightning strikes are frequent, and the rainfall is heavy, Nicholas.
Tell you what, on this particular shot that we're seeing right now, the Dolphins camera, I just saw a cloud of ground lightning strike on this live camera, which is actually one of the first times that I have seen a cloud of ground lightning strike on one of these cameras here. So you can see the flashes are frequent. The flashes are crazy here, and what I'm looking at is just a couple seconds ahead of what y'all are looking at, so I can kind of anticipate here. Also, you can see those low clouds blowing through. It's actually blowing almost right towards the camera right now, but a little bit of lag in the camera, some consistent lightning happening now. And notice it is not raining there at this camera location. The rain is just off to the north. There's some really incredible lightning strikes here. It's going to come up in a second. You'll see just how bright some of these are here. So that's the kind of show that we're dealing with right now in Mobile. And as this thunderstorm tracks across the north part of Mobile, your Pritchard, your Chickasaw here, there's going to be some concern for some heavy rain and flooding. That's kind of a quick flooding, kind of quick ponding. That's why we don't recommend any driving here. Let's take a couple other looks here. This is a look from downtown again, and you can see some distant lightning happening there with this one. If we take a really wide view of it from Daphne looking across towards Mobile, you see those occasional flashes, constant rumbling happening out there right now with this thunderstorm. Going back to the reflectivity right now, what we can see here is heavy rain that is on the north side of Mobile. Zoom in onto it real quick. You can see here, north side of Mobile, there is that little bit of hook signature to this, so we got to keep an eye on that. But look, north of Pritchard here near Chickasaw, in between Chickasaw, Saraland, and Pritchard, that's where we're seeing some of the heaviest rain right now. And what we're seeing here in the velocity product, thankfully, right now, not seeing anything too scary. There's a little bit of blockage there, but we're going to keep an eye on that. And it looks like, if we go back to Claudia's shot anytime soon, getting a little bit more information, but she notes from Claudia, they've been sitting there at that spot on Moffett Road for about 15 minutes. This is near Magnolia Grove Parkway, and they were heading westbound on 98 there. About 5 road crew trucks just passed Claudia here in our Fox 10 storm tracker, going to the area where there's problems. There could be anything from washout to accident, could be anything at this point. Now think about, we're coming off of how much rain that we just got, so really, it could be anything at this point. We're going to try to keep you updated on that. But that's the situation there. Magnolia Grove, Moffett right now. We're keeping an eye on that. So a strong cell right now impacting Saraland, Chickasaw, Pritchard, and also a lot of lightning right now in Midtown Mobile. Downtown Mobile. There's the radar there. I'm going to zoom out for a second because I don't want to forget about our friends in Crestview, which have just gotten an ugly storm here. There was a lot of wind with this. Right now, Fort Walton Beach and Destin, Niceville, getting in on some of this heaviest wind and rain. Thankfully, it doesn't look too crazy right now, but just a shout to Okaloosa County here. We have heavy rain that has fallen. Actually, the lightning on this part of the line is not as heavy, which is good news, but I'll go ahead and tell you that the Weather Service in Tallahassee's already blanketed the entire thing with warnings here. So you're going to see warnings for Walton County there as we move off to the east. So here's the radar situation again right now. The heaviest thunderstorm is in Mobile, Jason. That's also where we have a flash flood warning in place. Taking a look at Claudia's situation again, getting a little clearer picture right now of what's going on, and what you can see, that looks to be a large tow truck, like a big boy tow truck. Talking about like your tow truck for maybe like an 18-wheel or something. I'm actually gonna get close to this so I can see this. Again, this is near Magnolia Grove Parkway and Moffett Road. And what you see here, there's a big tow truck. Some of the headlights blocking our view. You can see the flashing lights off in the distance there. Some folks trying to turn around and get out of that situation, as you can see. But a little hard to tell exactly what's going on. Looks like there's a couple other folks trying to move or turn around. Looks like the storm tracker is going to get closer here. So the rain, heaviest rain has stopped here. This is again Magnolia Grove Parkway, the Magnolia Grove Golf Course, and near Moffett Road, on Moffett Road. The storm tracker is on Moffett Road right now. We're getting closer to the incident now. You can see a truck with flashing lights there in the middle and some more lights there, and I'm not sure what Claudia is seeing. Getting any notes?
Yeah, I don't see any cars moving through.
Yeah.
And you talked about that storm going through Okaloosa County. I'm getting some text updates. My daughter's flying back from Washington, D.C. tonight, and they didn't let them land in Pensacola.
Oh,
and,
really?
They're actually rerouting them over to Tallahassee, and they probably refuel and then come back in. So, I mean, this is having an impact on so many different things that are going on across the forecast area. We've had trees down. We've had power outages. We have lightning strikes. We've had flooding rains. We've had severe thunderstorms. We've had potential tornadoes. We hadn't confirmed those, but we did have a tornado debris signature at one point this evening over the Mobile-Tensaw Delta. We've had rip currents. We've had a drowning, unfortunately, at the beach. Life-threatening and unfortunately things that have cost people's lives apparently because of this storm. The remnants of Arthur. Between the surf and the heavy rain and the lightning and the tornadoes and the flooding, and this has just been a very busy weather day and night, and it looks like it's continuing tonight here, Nicholas.
I'm going to step out for just 1 second here. Can you drive on there?
I can.
I'm going to go rescue Hannah real quick, who just locked herself out of the building.
Yeah, we don't want her out there stuck in the rain. It's going to take me a second to get this loaded up, but I can certainly drive from here. All right, first thing I want to do is start out over here in Okaloosa County. And so this is the severe thunderstorm part of it. The good news is with this severe thunderstorm warning, Crestview, it looks like the worst of the weather's made it through. It is rocking Fort Walton Beach and Destin. It's affecting Niceville, but the heaviest part of this storm is just about to move into the east side of Chattahoochee Bay and be out of our area over into Walton County. Elsewhere across the Panhandle, we have a moderate downpour going on that's pretty steady between Crestview and Pensacola up to about Jay and Bruton. It's just a solid wall of moderate rain. The rainfall rates are reasonable here. We are not under a flash flood warning in this location. Let me show you where the one flash flood warning is. And this is going to be this triangle. There's two of them actually. This one is from the Grand Bay area all the way up to Wilmer, and then it extends over into Baldwin County around Bay Minette. So there's a flash forward warning in this area. There is one really active thunderstorm. It's not severe according to the National Weather Service, but it is a very, very intense thunderstorm that is going through right now. And that is happening right here over downtown Mobile. Look at the lightning strikes that are firing here. You can see the lightning in Tolmanville and Midtown. We're getting heavy rain there. And then the core of the storm is actually from Pritchard and right along Highway 43, kind of in the Chickasaw area, and then out over the Tensas Delta. And this thing is finally starting to move. This is the same storm that was just stuck over Sims. So I'm liking the motion. I mean, we need these storms to move. We don't want them to be severe. We're not wishing them on other areas. We just don't want them to sit in the same spot like what was happening earlier in Wilmer and Sims. So this thing's finally starting to move a little bit. There is a piece of it that's coming through Mobile, and you know, you might be watching us here on the stream just because the light show, it's almost like it's daytime outside. I mean, it's flickering like crazy out your windows on the north side of the house or anywhere if you're located in Saraland, Whistler, and then over to Highway 225. This is a great shot. This angle right here is looking up Mobile River past the moon pie there. And it, you know, some of the city lights may cut back in our ability to be able to see the lightning, but there's constant flashing and flickering going on here out over the Delta. So that's where a lot of the activity is right now.
If you watch the horizon, you can see how, I'm going to use the word scuddy the clouds are.
The scuds are, yeah. We've had a few of those today. So what means by that is when you look at the horizon, you can see the low clouds, and that was a cloud to ground strike right there, I believe. But anyway, when the low hanging clouds come out of the shelf cloud, kind of hang down towards the bottom, it almost looks like a tornado, but it's not. It's kind of a faux tornado. It's called a scud cloud, and it's pretty common in most thunderstorms. But I think we did have a cloud to ground strike over the Tensas Delta there, showing up in the picture at one point, maybe about 20 seconds ago here on our live stream.
I'm going to swap this over to the Admiral camera now as we're just kind of panning that one around. You can see just kind of the low-hanging clouds there, and looking back into where the rain is now, watching for lightning strikes. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's flashing now, but this one may be not giving us as many frames per second, so it may catch some brightness there from time to time.
So we do have a new information on Moffett Road, and I'm going to read this out. So again, what we're talking about here is Moffett Road near Magnolia Grove Parkway. Multiple trees are down and blocking both lanes in the area of 6195 Moffett Road. Our team is in the area now. This is coming from City of Mobile. Our team is in the area now working to get debris clear. Drivers are advised to avoid the area if possible. Please remain sheltered in place during this time. If you do not need to drive, do not drive around barricades, stay off bridges, do not drive into standing water. That message from the City of Mobile regarding 6195 Moffett Road near Magnolia Grove Parkway, where we have multiple trees that are down and blocking both lanes in that area. That is the situation that was happening where our Stormtracker truck is, as you can see right there. City of Mobile is on the scene of multiple trees down, blocking both lanes of the area of 6195 Moffett Road. Good news for those folks right now. The rain, the heaviest rain is stopping right now, and that is our Stormtracker on the road right now on Moffett Road. And you can see all of the crews that are out there right now keeping track of the situation here from Moffett Road and again Magnolia Grove Parkway, and you can see that thankfully the rain is not heavy there. If we can real quick, I do want to hop back to the weather computer. So that was the deal down at Moffett. I want to go to the weather.
We don't have it, you know, washed out if it's just trees down.
It is just trees down. Take a look at that the Dolphins camera right now. Look at the motion in the clouds. You can see there how quickly this is blowing in right now. This is blowing into downtown Mobile, and you can see, oh, look at those low-hanging clouds. That is an awesome shot. And seeing the lightning strikes there as well as this continues to blow in. And what we're going to see here is the onset of the rain in downtown Mobile. It is just moments away from getting to them. But the motion here is something we keep an eye on velocity, trying to figure out, okay, how is this working? How is this thing going? Clearly, this little part of the storm that's about to get to downtown Mobile is reaching out ahead of the rest of the parent thunderstorm, and that's what we're seeing, this kind of lower cloud feature here right now from our camera in downtown Mobile. It's actually quite an awesome shot here, and I've been keeping an eye on the view as well from some of our other cameras, but we're going to keep it here on this Dolphins camera view. It's really quite interesting to watch this thing blow in. You can see the occasional lightning strikes happening. The radar map is showing just bolt after bolt after bolt after bolt. So this is again what it looks like in downtown Mobile. Taking a quick look at the reflectivity and our situation here. Looks like
let's look at that. I was checking it out on radar scope too. I mean, this thing, if we zoom in, check this out here, y'all. So we get into downtown Mobile, and this red cell, it looks like that it's not even storming on Government Street right now, but it's affecting like MLK and right there in the heart of downtown. So that's that rain shield.
I'm going to go super street level here. So it looks like it's north of Broad, essentially north of Meridian, the apartment complex there on Water Street, the state docks. And that seems to be where the heavy rain is at this point. Lots of lightning in the little notch here right out ahead of it over the water. And you can see here looking up north, heavy thunderstorm now moving into Bromley, 225 Cloverleaf Landing hurricane. This is not tornadic, but this is a heavy, almost supercell-like thunderstorm here. I see the purple there. A little blockage in the radar beam, so I can't see what this looks like right under it. I'm kind of annoyed because I would really like to see what it looks like under there. But right now, you do definitely have a situation where you have this kind of supercell-like thunderstorm jumping tremendous amounts of rain, and that's moving into White House Fork here, moving into Stapleton, north of Spanish Fort. I think it's going to stay north of Spanish Fort in some of the places like Timber Creek or Malbus, and I think it's going to stay north of all of those areas as it moves off to the east, because it is moving off to the east, which is good news.
It is, and I thought about sweeping it from the Eglin Air Force Base site, but there's going to be so much attenuation from that distance, plus it's got to punch through a severe thunderstorm to get there, so we're not getting much out of Eglin, out of EVX. That's actually east of Eglin, the radar site that's located way far off to the east. So this is pretty much our best shot. And you can see that there's a big thunderstorm now getting into Walton County, Florida. But it looks like things are improving. This is moderate rain that's happening across the Panhandle, but it's not severe now. So except for a flash flood warning that clips northern Escambia County, Florida, we're done with warnings right now across the Florida Panhandle. And the fact that one storm may have worked the atmosphere over pretty good, so we've probably got a little breather for a while across the Panhandle. I wouldn't let my guard down on the epic lightning-producing storm that's tracking over into Baldwin County. The structure of it's still a little ragged, so it doesn't look like it's imminently severe, but there are heavy rainfall rates with that one. And there are more heavy rainfall rates going on in northern Mobile County. We've got a real downpour going on in Citronelle, Alabama tonight and down to about Gulf Crest. So another thing I want to pass along is that we're going to stay with this live stream until we start Fox 10 News after the game, which should be winding down at the end of the soccer game. And it looks like we may be getting close. Is that correct, Lenise? So is the game finished? We're 4 minutes left in the game, and then potentially some post game, and then there's no post. Okay, so we're going to go right into Fox 10 News at the culmination of tonight's World Cup contest. And we've had some really great soccer on, but we've also had a lot of severe weather to talk about, and that's why we've been handling the severe weather on our streaming platforms.
And actually, I will say it worked out really well, where we lost some of the tornado warnings right when the game kicked off there. And so we were able to do this stream without interrupting too much programming, which what we want to do. Trust me, this is a game that I wanted to watch too. Right now, though, the situation here is this supercell-looking thunderstorm that's moving up north of Spanish Fort. Checking the velocity, it looks like, it looks like the inflow on this is so contaminated. Oh yeah, you can see this. This is a great shot. There's rain wrapping around all of this. That's that purple color, that kind of reddish purple color. And then in this here, there's wind that is getting sucked into the thunderstorm, and the wind that's getting sucked in is not like rain. It's dust and other particles that are getting into the storm, and that's what we're seeing there in that little inflow notch, essentially, going into this storm. So that's the supercell look to it right now with this thing. So heavy lightning also happening on the Bayway. Ooh, the Bayway would not be a fun drive right now with all that lightning happening there. It looks like we have about a minute left in the game before stoppage time ends, by the way, so just throwing that out there for y'all. Jason, looking back on the backside of this stuff, George, northern Mobile County that you called out earlier, in Greene counties and Washington County, this is what we're going to have to watch overnight for any back building, any redevelopment.
Yeah, and I like how scattered it looks right now. So if this keeps up and we have enough space between each thunderstorm, that will help. It's not good that these thunderstorms are going through areas like southwestern Greene County and some other locations that saw nearly a foot of rain earlier today. But getting some gaps and some breaks in the rain will certainly help. And we just had an update from our news desk here that Maugh's Mobile Area Water and Sewer System is currently experiencing multiple sewage overflows, wastewater overflows from heavy rain, and they're being monitored, and they could be affecting waterways like Eslava Creek, Dog River, Halls Mill Creek, and Mobile Bay. And we don't have any information on the volumes of the overflows, but basically there's just been so much heavy rain that the storm drains just can't, handle all the inundation that's gone on. So we are watching out for that, and the health department should be giving us updates on that tomorrow, but that just goes with the territory right now.
And to kind of a similar line, talking about stuff that's out right now, Mobile County, 17,000 customers without power, 17.6 thousand customers without power right now. Outage percentage only 8%, but that's still kind of a large number there. And a lot of these being Alabama Power customers here, and the outages are everywhere. If you're driving around tonight, there are going to be certain lights that you run into that are just out. I mean, that's just how it is right now, and that's the situation in Baldwin County. Situation's a little better, only around 1,000 folks out right now. Keeping an eye on also, just to give a quick update, it looks like Causeway's flowing smooth now and Bayway's flowing smooth right now. Still a backup a little bit near Moffett Road in that area that we talked about earlier. And of course, we're providing more updates here as we start the newscast pretty soon. But right now, the only thunderstorm concern is the one that is moving into Spanish Fort, or I should say north of Spanish Fort. Bromley here, the prolific lightning producer that we're tracking here. Also some gusty winds possible with this thing. Checking out the velocity, still contaminated as all get out, but a lot of lightning. Actually, I will say, maybe in the last couple scans here, Jason, it looks like the lightning might have calmed down, or at least focused into a smaller area here. Not as aggressive as it was.
Yeah, it's mostly over the Tensaw Delta or over the lower Delta, just north of the Causeway and the Bayway. So a high concentration of lightning strikes, but it's not happening over a highly populated area right now, with the exception of maybe Bromley. Up there along 225, we are getting an uptick in lightning there. But if the storm will keep moving, I think things are gonna work out fine. And while this is an impressive thunderstorm, it's remained below severe limits, with the exception of the flooding threat, and that's waned some now as this is moving more quickly, but it was definitely a major flood producer. This is the thing that sat over Sims and Wilmer for a couple of hours this evening.
Quick note on Bayou Sarah. Based on what I can tell, 9.3 feet. Forecast river crest. That would take us to the second all-time highest crest at Bayou Sarah, and that's the situation now.
Yikes.
So that is the second highest all-time crest according to the National Weather Service in Mobile. The forecast 9.3 feet.
I'm getting some information from my producer. Nate, can you tell me where I need to be again to start Fox 10 News at 10 p.m.?
Because we are starting that pretty soon.
Perfect. So I'm going to be where I'm at. So that's great.
And how far out are we from Fox 10 News at 10? All right, we are 30 seconds out from Fox 10 News at 10. So here we're going to be tracking all the things that you need to know as we get into tonight and to tomorrow with the continuation of the rain here. Still have some rain on radar, that strong thunderstorm. Here we go.
Yeah, we may hold on to the end of that. Yeah. So we're going to keep it here on the stream just for a little bit longer, and we're just going to leave the radar up so you can see. We're about to start our newscast, so if folks that are watching us on the stream will just hang with us a little bit, we'd appreciate it. And then we're going to roll into our newscast, and this is actually going to, you'll see us on the stream, but you'll also see us on air on Fox 10 News, which will be a traditional broadcast format here. And what we plan on showing you on Fox 10 News at 10 is a complete update on the weather situation in the area. We're also going to show you some of the scenes, the video from today, the flooding that we've seen, and the damage that we've seen across the area. So it should be a really interesting newscast for you as we're hopefully wrapping up the issues with the remnants of Arthur. I don't think we're totally done overnight tonight. We're still going to have to monitor some of these cells for severe potential, thunderstorm winds primarily, and also some localized downpours as we've seen and continue to see flash flood warnings issued for the area. All right. Heavy rain and lightning continues to impact the Gulf Coast. We have some severe weather to talk about, flooding, and we'll look at threats through tomorrow in your forecast coming up.
Got our people working with equipment, trying to prevent any flooding into their homes.
Also tonight at 10, pouring rain, roads underwater, and power out for a lot of people tonight. We are showing you the trouble spots that turned impassable and what crews are doing right now to keep floodwaters out of homes. Then Midtown Mobile turning into a no-wake zone tonight. Massive downpours forcing drivers to push through high water. You've got downed trees in front yards and one woman telling us she's grateful it wasn't worse. Fox News at 10 is starting now.
First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 News starts now.
It's been an active night, from tornado warnings to flash flooding and everything in between. Let's jump right in. And first, a look at Midtown Mobile. It got swamped this afternoon. Water just everywhere. This area is notorious for flooding, and boy did it. Way too much rain for the drainage systems to handle. Some cars flooded out. The water has receded a little, but take it easy out there if you have to drive in that area tonight. Speaking of driving, part of the causeway became part of Mobile Bay today. Take a look at this video sent in from a viewer. The eastbound lanes, just forget about it. They were closed. High tide hit right when the torrential downpours came. Throw in that big south wind, and this is what you get. The Fox 10 studios, yep, we got hammered too. Check out this video from our back parking lot. Big wind out there, rain blowing sideways. Look at that as we pan over there. Lightning popping in that shot too. This actually was the second storm to blow right over our station. They were saying timber in Tolmanville, a tree down near Osage and MLK. Crews Johnny on the spot with that quick cleanup. The high wind and saturated ground proving to be too much for a lot of trees out there today. And as we speak, about 15,000 reported power outages for Mobile County. And in Sims, the city is warning of several road closings out there because of the flooding. We'll have reporting from Claudia soon. First, the very latest on these storms from our team of meteorologists. We have Nicholas Herboso and our chief meteorologist, Jason Smith. Jason, starting with you.
Well, one of the things that's been going on throughout the evening while we've been in the soccer game, we've been streaming on fox10tv.com and on the Fox 10 Gulf stream and on Facebook and YouTube and our digital platforms. And we've been continuing to cover this, and we've seen this developing weather situation. We're not totally done with the severe threat tonight, but it is lowering a little. We have a level 2 slight risk for severe weather over a portion of the Florida Panhandle, but we just had an epic thunderstorm work the atmosphere over in this area, so that may limit the threat some. There is still an impressive thunderstorm. This storm right here is the one that sat on top of Sims and dumped heavy rain for several hours. It is now beginning to move, and it just grazed downtown Mobile. The core of the heaviest lightning is beginning to shrink, so it's a sign that it's weakening, but that lightning core is moving into Spanish Fort. So if you're in Spanish Fort, especially in areas along and north of Interstate 10 here up Highway 225, look for gusty winds and a lot of lightning, and the heavy rain is stretching across Cloverleaf Landing and over to Bromley and Stapleton. Elsewhere, most of the rain is more scattered or light to moderate. It is getting more scattered in appearance out Highway 98, but we're not totally done for the night. Some areas have seen anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rain across the Gulf Coast, and if we see more, we will have more flooding concerns. There's currently a flash flood warning up for parts of Mobile County and Baldwin County, as well as Escambia County, Florida, and Alabama, and George County. Coming up in your forecast, we're going to look at the futurecast and show you what we expect to happen with the storms overnight. Check out tomorrow's outlook and the outlook through Father's Day weekend.
And in Baldwin County, tragedy ahead of the Father's Day holiday. Fort Morgan Fire Rescue says a man died trying to save his son from the rough waters. Fort Morgan Fire Rescue tell us it happened at around 5 o'clock Wednesday after a call about 2 swimmers in distress. Firefighters in the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office responded to the beach near Ponce de Leon Court and Vacation Lane. Deputies say a 40-year-old man and his 10-year-old son went into the water, and the father tried to help his son, who started to struggle in the rough surf. When crews got there, other beachgoers had already pulled the man from the water and started CPR. Life support personnel dispatched, but the man was pronounced dead. Tonight, a day of pouring rain across parts of Mobile and Baldwin counties. The flooded streets out there, stranding water on roads and causing a lot of streets to shut down in the wake. Claudia Nichols is live from Moffett Road. And Claudia, you've been stuck there for about 30 minutes.
And we ran into a little bit of a roadblock. The city says that there are multiple trees up there in front of us. I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like out here right now. We actually have crews that are here now trying to remove some of those trees. They are blocking both lanes. It's all happening in the area of 6195 Moffett Road. Officials are asking people to avoid the area right now, remain sheltered in place. They say if you have to drive, don't drive around barricades, stay off bridges, and do not drive in standing water. Now, this comes after hours of more rain in other parts of the county. What started as a steady drizzle today earlier in Creola quickly turned into sheets of rain, and it didn't take long for trouble spots throughout Mobile County to become impassable.
Thunder, lightning, and heavy rain pounded the city of Creola. Within minutes, low-lying areas were underwater. Creola Mayor Don Nelson says the storm hit just weeks after several inches of rain soaked the city.
2 weeks ago, we had 20 inches of rain over to it, and I'm not sure what we got out there now, but the city's out and looking and trying to help.
Nelson says flooding is always a concern when rain comes down this fast. He says city crews were out monitoring roads and trying to keep water from pushing into people's homes.
Officials continue urging drivers not to drive around barricades and never drive through flooded areas.
In Criolla, water rushed into front yards. After the first burst of heavy rain, lawns were swamped, trash cans were knocked over and floating away, and parts of the road became difficult to see. The same scene played out in other parts of Mobile County.
Here on Old Shell Road, several feet of water have collected under this overpass. City crews just left the scene after blocking off the road to keep drivers away from the floodwaters. This is just one of several spots across the area where heavy rainfall has triggered flooding.
Power outages were also reported across the area. In some places, stoplights went dark, creating even more problems for drivers already dealing with flooded roads.
Well, some people are still without power tonight. A few roads remain closed, like the one in front of us here on Moffett Road. We'll continue monitoring these conditions. Officials continue urging drivers not to drive around these barricades and never drive through flooded areas. Live in Mobile, Claudia Nichols, Fox 10 News.
Good reminders there, Claudia. Make sure that you don't try to drive through. And speaking of flooded streets, Midtown Mobile feeling the effects with the flooded streets out there tonight. Down trees in some neighborhoods as well. Drivers in flood-prone areas like Government and Ann Street were driving with caution. Natalie Williams was in Midtown where she spoke with a woman who says the storms brought down a tree in her front yard.
I mean, it came like a monsoon out of nowhere.
Tonight, heavy rain drenching Midtown Mobile, flooding streets and knocking down trees. Roads like Government and South Ann Streets covered in water. Some drivers slowed down, others pushed through the flood water. City of Mobile crews responded quickly to help drain the high water. South Ann Street is known to flood, especially when we experience a lot of rain, which is why this sign right here, which reads "No Wake Zone," is posted to remind drivers to go slow. Meanwhile, further down Ann Street, Savannah Gordon was inside her home when she says she heard a loud noise. When she looked outside, she couldn't believe it.
I mean, the wind was blowing really hard and it was raining real bad, and I just heard something loud outside, so I went to look, and I mean, the tree had fallen this way and it went on our fence, and I don't know, I was just glad it didn't come in the house the way that the wind was blowing.
Gordon tells me while this part of Ann Street is no longer flooded, earlier she had to move her car and fear water would get inside. How high was it, like, on your car? Was it covering the tires or something?
It was about halfway up, like about where the bottom of the door opens up at. We've had flooding before, but I've never had to move my car for it. I'm honestly just so thankful that as bad as it is, it happened the way that it did, because it genuinely could have been a lot worse.
In Mobile, Natalie Williamson, Fox 10 News.
And with storms like what we had today, it's a reminder that we're in hurricane season through November. United Way of Southwest Alabama teaming up with Verizon on disaster preparedness workshops along the Gulf Coast. You'll have 4 opportunities with the workshops this summer. The first one starts July 14th at Tillman's Corner. We have a list of the other workshops and the dates on fox10tv.com. Dangerous flooding and storm damage across Mississippi and Louisiana, and at least 1 life lost. A County Road crew member in Franklin County, Mississippi, killed while helping with the storm cleanup there. Tonight, crews are also closely watching a dam in Pearl River County that could be at risk of failing. Water everywhere. Striking video from Pearl River County. Water gushing through the spillways of the Anchor Lake Dam. About 30 nearby homes have been evacuated, with people urged to seek higher ground. Multiple roads remain closed across George, Hancock, Harrison, Pearl River, and Stone counties. In Harrison County, the fire chief there says crews made at least 50 water rescues, wading through waist-deep water as massive, deeply rooted trees blocked the streets and cut off entire neighborhoods neighborhoods. He called it one of the more intense storms he's seen. And in Stone County, the Wiggins police chief says dozens of people saved from floodwaters, which are now finally starting to recede. Across the state line in Kenner, Louisiana, police calling it a gut punch. 6 to 10 inches of rain in less than 2 hours. It just flooded the streets, including the Chateau Estates area, and left 50 to 70 vehicles stalled citywide. Niles was among the hardest hit areas, with significant damage to stores and homes. And then this, an 18-wheeler blown over by the wind off Lake Pontchartrain. Despite the way it looks, the driver was not hurt. Mississippi's governor is asking neighbors to avoid the flooded streets, monitor emergency alerts, and stay safe. You can stay up to date on the heavy rain and the severe weather with the Fox 10 News weather app. It's a free download for your smartphone in the Apple app and Google Play Store. We have the QR code on your screen. That'll take you right to the app if you scan it. It's your best tool to stay up to date with the changing weather. Still ahead on Fox News at 10, the nation's highest court weighing in on guns and marijuana. Why the justices say one Texas man's pot use alone isn't enough to take away his firearms. We'll have that story in 60 seconds. Does not bar you from owning a gun. The High Court ruled in favor of a Texas marijuana user who claimed his Second Amendment right was violated. Washington correspondent Brendan Cullerton is breaking down the case.
The Supreme Court says Ali Himani is not prohibited from owning a gun just because he uses marijuana, in a ruling that has increased importance with the growth of marijuana use in the U.S. Investigators searched Himani's home and found a gun, marijuana, and cocaine in his parents' closet. Himani admitted to using marijuana a few times a week, but said his mother had hidden the cocaine. Texas attempted to charge Himani under the Federal Gun Control Act of 1968, which bans an unlawful user of a controlled substance from possessing a firearm. Marijuana remains a controlled substance. The law is often used in combination with other offenses, but in Himani's case, it was the only crime he was charged with. The same law was used to prosecute Hunter Biden, who was ultimately pardoned by his father. The law carries a penalty of up to 15 years in federal prison and disarmament for life. This was a unanimous ruling by the Supreme Court. It upholds the ruling from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. The Supreme Court says this is a narrow ruling that does not address either addicts or those actively under the influence from possessing firearms. From the Supreme Court, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
All right, let's track conditions on radar right now, and we've got a lot of thunderstorms going on in the area, but they're not as intense as they were in some of the areas that were getting rocked with persistent rains. These thunder showers are starting to get on the move. As we take a look at what's happening in Mobile County right now, we just had a heavy thunderstorm move through and across the Delta. It's now in Baldwin County from about the Loxley exward northward up Highway 31 and 225 in the Bromley area. We're catching a break in Wilmer and Sims. The storms have centered up a little further north up towards Saraland, and they are getting more scattered and less organized. We had a severe thunderstorm just work over the atmosphere across the Panhandle. That's left Pensacola and most of the Panhandle with light to moderate rain out there this evening. A closer look at what's happening here. You can see some storms up near Citronelle here. They're not sitting in one spot. They're moving some, so that is a positive sign. And right now the rain is working. The heaviest of the rain is working out of the flash flood warned area. We just have to continue to monitor this cell here as it works through central Baldwin County. Currently, we have a couple of flash flood warnings to talk about, one in George County, the other one in Mobile and Baldwin counties, with a sliver of it extending up to Atmore. And some of this was left over from heavy downpours earlier. I'm still concerned about road closures around Sims. We had heavy rain there. Wolf Road is one of the areas we've heard about some potential problems. Elsewhere, things do look better. No active severe thunderstorms or tornado warnings in our area presently. So how much rain have we seen? The areas in yellow here, anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rain, and we're not quite done. So this has been an incredible day from a rainfall standpoint, and that's why we've seen the flooding in the area. This is a widespread swath of a lot of spots up around 8 to 10 inches of rain. The flash flood potential through tonight remains high. Tomorrow it shifts back to a moderate flash flood potential, and we remain under a PDS flash flood watch. And that's going to continue into tomorrow. It won't take much to get things flooding again as saturated as things are. Right now, most of the river levels are in reasonable shape, but we are keeping an eye on some of the levels across the area, including Bayou Sarah, which may get up to about 9.2 feet for one of the second highest crests of all time. That's an area with some very heavy rainfall ongoing. Checking out the futurecast, it does scatter the rain out overnight. This would be a favorable sign through about 1 a.m. and it does show a quieter situation through 2 or 3 a.m. Tomorrow, we will get redevelopment at daybreak tomorrow morning. Check in with Matt for more on that, possibly along Interstate 10. And still some pockets of heavy downpours tomorrow on your Friday. Rain chances look like this. They will begin to improve over the holiday weekend or the Father's Day weekend, a 50% rain chance on Saturday and Sunday. Rough surf will continue, so stay out of the water along the Gulf Coast beaches, but better weather eventually will get here. Lenny's?
Glad to hear that improved weather is on the way. We gotta wait a little bit though. All right, some bars in Boston are running out of beer and they're rushing to up the inventory as thousands of fans are flooding the city for, you guessed it, the World Cup.
This is it every day.
When others drop off, the Scots just keep on going. And now the beer's disappearing in Boston.
You guys are drinking this whole city dry, you know that?
Yeah, we need reassurances from the mayor of Boston that there will be sufficient alcohol.
We were in Cheers Bar yesterday for 2 pints and we stayed for 20.
We do see a lot of the same faces. They know our names now.
Noel Summers says the Scots have been calling Hennessy's home, but over the weekend, they hit their breaking point, running out of lager and ale on Sunday.
We have had to up our orders, our deliveries.
Up the road to the Dubliner, the party's still picking up ahead of Scotland's matchup with Morocco Monday. Their manager, Brian McDonald, said they've run through roughly 200 kegs of Guinness and Tennent's. That's at least 16,000 pints over the span of just a week.
It's definitely a lot busier than we ever anticipated. You know, we kind of prepared for St. Patrick's Day level, but this kind of blew it out of the water.
3 times the beer bought compared to a Boston St. Patrick's Day weekend. Such shipments keep coming in with 3 days left until their final matchup in Foxborough.
What can I say? You know, Scotland loves to drink.
Alan Hinrich said he's hit 15 bars so far.
One place refused me, and it's been a long time since I've been asked for proof of age. Now, I like to think that I look young.
Business booming for those pubs all across the city.
The camaraderie, the fun that they have brought to this city has been unprecedented.
On to Dorchester. I'm Daniel Coates for local station Boston 25 News.
And taking a live look outside, just a reminder, we received an alert from the city of Mobile talking about the number of trees out there that are down and blocking lanes of traffic, especially Moffett Road. Of course, we will continue to update you on the conditions and get your latest forecasts when we come back.
Brought to you locally by Nissan. Visit your local Nissan dealer today.
Checking out radar right now. We've just had a severe thunderstorm work across the panhandle. That's left us with moderate rain. It's worked the atmosphere over some. There are scattered thunderstorms behind it. We do feel a little better about the situation weather-wise going into the overnight hours, but we'll continue to watch it. And it's been an active weather day across the Gulf Coast. We'll have more coverage on Fox 10 News tomorrow morning with meteorologist Matt Barentine.
Okay, and Jason, you and Nick and Hannah earlier today have been monitoring this whole situation, and it caused quite a bit of issues. We're still seeing a number of power outages tonight.
Yes, we've seen the rough surf. That's going to continue at area beaches. We've had tides above normal. I think that'll be better tomorrow. The flooding is still potentially an issue, but we will see that backing off overnight somewhat. The severe threat's also lowering, but, you know, it's just been a crazy day. A lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, a little bit of everything.
Hopefully you all will sleep well tonight.